One more. Come on. 6 sugar. You have to reload so many times. You're broadcasting, right? Okay, cool.
I can't see where you're coming from, but I know just what you're running from. And what matters is who's better. Won't you stop falling from don't let it feel like you're feeling now. Doing things just to please your mind. When I love you and the way I love you, yeah, I suffer, but I ain't gonna you. This ain't no place for no hero. This ain't no place for no better man. This ain't no place for no hero. Come home. This ain't no place for no hero. This ain't no place for no better man. This ain't no place for no hero. Come home. Giving up on asking why you lie and you cheat and you try to make a fool out of shit. Now I can't see where you're coming from. I know just what you running from. And what matters won't you stop falling from all let go. This ain't no place for no hero. This ain't no place for no better man. This ain't no place for no hero. Oh, this ain't no place for no hero. This ain't no place for no better man. This ain't no place for no hero. Oh,
Done and dusted.
Welcome back, ladies and skeletons. That is the clip from yesterday's stream where we played a whole lot of, we played, I did it again, where I played a lot of Oculus Quest, played some Beat Saber, played some Pistol Whip, which is that game you just saw. That stream is currently blocked, because of the Key and Peele segments. I thought I had reacted hard enough to the point where it wouldn't get like copyrights claimed, but it's blocked. But thankfully YouTube has a very convenient system where you can just trim out the offending sections and it'll come right back up. That's why yesterday's stream is not on the archive channel, if anyone was wondering, but I wanted to play that clip just in case anyone wanted to see more of that game. How is it going? Hope you guys are doing well. This is going to be a shorter one. A short stream. I got stuff to do later. You want to check out... Let's see. This is my new wallpaper. For this alternate platform. Check that out. We got the iconic shot. We got Pippa, we got Kershey, we got Fillion. We got a VTuber I'm not that familiar with. I was told her name is Smug Alana. The fire fox on the right there. I thought this art was just really cool. You can see like the bullet holes in her ear, which is the result of a bullet, not shrapnel, as the lying FBI tries to say. But yeah, I thought that was a good wallpaper. What are we doing today? We're taking a step back from the pig roach, the Snortex, I guess, because the dynamic is certainly shifting. Not in his favor, of course, but we can take a break. It's that's the great thing about being a lolcow aficionado. If one gets too cringeworthy, we can just always shift gears and look at another one. This is Russell Greer. Let's go through our monthly Russell Greer update. I'm thinking about doing this like once every month, just checking in on old Russell, letting you know his shenanigans. Recently, there was actually yesterday, there was a big document dump. Let's see, 92 pages. 92 pages. So we're gonna do what Nick Rekieta used to do before his life spiraled and his content became nothing but his own court issues. We're gonna look at Russell Greer's public filings. Remember when other law tubers used to do that? I'm no law tuber, but I've been doing this long enough that I'm somewhat familiar with how the process works. So what has Russell been up to? Let's check the notes. Last we left off, Russell filed an illegal document that because the internet made fun of his ridiculous antics, he was flat broke, and he would now become homeless. Sorry, I'm laughing. Get some background music in here, why not? Ghost Town. It's interesting how in order to maintain his status as a pro se informa paupera litigant, and avoid spending any money filing his frivolous lawsuits, he has to keep his income below a certain threshold. He can annoy anyone with obnoxious suits, but be cursed with perpetual poverty. Let this be a cautionary tale for anyone who goes down this route. Hey, Chris Farrakhan. We're, let's see, I'll actually put it on the screen. Looking at Russell Greer. Let's check this out. I'm gonna go over this and then toss it off for a raid, as I have some stuff I need to get done today. You know, necessary stuff. Leading up to Alfred being back in Texas, as well as a lot of my prized possessions along the way. But let's see. Wow, that's really coming up really quick, huh? August just sort of flew by. Okay, anyways. So yeah, Russell is a pro... I know this is a lot of Latin here, but Russell is a pro se informa pauperis litigant. What this means is Russell... The pro se part means that Russell represents himself, and the... I'll make this bigger. Pro se means Russell represents himself because he is a paralegal, one of the worst paralegals ever. And informa pauperis means that he is too poor. So if you're poor in America, you get to waive the filing fees that other people who want to file lawsuits would have to pay in order to process all the paperwork. Because in America we are very litigious, and we don't want to block out poor people from being able to receive reprieve from their regresses. You know what I mean. We want poor people to be able to sue, right? We don't want to like have a two-tier justice system where only people who can afford to file lawsuits are able to. But you have to prove that you're poor. You can't just be like, I'm poor. Reprieve, yeah. But I mean, if you want to like make a hobby out of this and just like never have to pay for any filing fees because you just love filing lawsuits, then you have to maintain a certain level of poverty just like forever, and that can create problems for you. Yeah, he can annoy. Okay. The farms managed to gather all of his court filings regarding his eviction, and they're quite numerous. Hold on, I got a cough. He tried arguing that he experienced an unexpected hardship. Let's take a look what that is. Here's page 1, and not a whole lot of here, just filling in check boxes. Here's where he starts writing. Okay. Other defense. State the facts and circumstances that support defenses you checked above. Tenant's reason for non-payment is due to Townhome Villa's negligent maintenance of a parking lot gate. The apartment complex failed to fix a defective parking lot gate and thus breached a promise to pay that tenant had set up with the complex by failing to fix said gate. Their breach of duty allowed a repo to take away tenant's only source of income. So as we know, Russell, he's a paralegal, so he thinks he can do all these filings himself. What we end up with is broken English, terrible logic, and just an all-around lack of any sort of professional decorum. Hey, hi, Ibis of Feather. We're taking a little side quest. We're looking at Russell Greer's latest shenanigans. Yeah, there's an old saying. Pro se litigants have an idiot for a client. If you're ever in legal trouble, hire a lawyer. Don't try and do it all yourself. There's a reason lawyers are well paid, and there's a lengthy education process that goes into being a lawyer, because there's a lot of stuff you have to do that the average person really doesn't really have time to do. So just get a lawyer. Don't try and do it all yourself. Okay, so he claims the apartment didn't fix their gate, and so a repo came and took my car. So, wait, I don't get it. How is it the landlord's responsibility to prevent his car from getting repossessed? Ever the legal scholar, Russell adds on that he's being discriminated against because of his disability. Russell, you stupid idiot. These laws were put in place to make it so disabled people are treated equally, not so you can receive special privileges not afforded to anyone else. Besides, sounding like you just had dental surgery isn't really that big a disability when you think about it. Jerks like Russell give people with real disabilities a bad rap. Anyways, his filing fees are waived because he's poor. I guess we can keep reading this. So, so he has like a 2021 car. I don't know why Russell thinks he needs like a nearly new car. He should have just like dropped like $2,000 or $3,000 on like an old beater, and then he wouldn't have to worry about his car getting repossessed. But Russell actually thought that he spent a lot of money. I think it's actually $1,100 a month for an apartment. But I mean, this is in Las Vegas, so the cost of living is pretty high there. Which is crazy. That's a lot of money for rent. By the way, I figured you'd get to it eventually, but as a practicing attorney for 10 years, there's some problems with the super crazy lawsuit to an extent that I hate to see him asking for donations. Yeah, I recommended against it. And Pescator actually reached out to Super Crazy, asked him to plead his case on his stream. So who knows what's going to happen there. Like he's right up against the statute of limitations. Yo, that might explain why he's doing it now. But yeah, Russell thought that by having an apartment in a gated community, he could lock away his car so the repo man couldn't come and take his car away for not paying his car payment. Which again is not the apartment complex's responsibility to guard you from legal processes. Like you can petition the court for redresses if your apartment complex failed to like keep out like vandals and robbers and people who would damage your vehicle. Like if that happened and you're like, hey, you guys said you were gonna fix this gate and they didn't, and like some punks and thugs, you know what I'm saying, come along and just like smash your car window, then you can petition the court to get compensated. But if it's just like the repo man coming to take your car away because you're not paying off your monthly payment, then you don't. That's not their problem. Like that wasn't vandalism. But of course, Russell thinks they're one and the same because he has to think they're one and the same in order for his legal filing to make sense. This is a problem that Russell constantly has. Okay, we're on page 4. For the last year, Tennant has had to do jobs with his car for income. In October, his car alternator went out, and that left him with little income. Again, another thing Russell does in his legal filings is he includes so many superfluous details that just don't need to be in the filing. Like the people whose job it is to handle these things get paid by the hour. They don't need to sit here and just read through like a bunch of shit that does not pertain to the case at hand. But Russell doesn't get that. Like, no one gives a shit that your alternator went out. Just, like, wrap it up. Tighten up these words, make it as short as possible. It caused him to fall behind on a bunch of bills/rent. That is why his balance is high. In January, his car was fixed. The apartment had been willing to work with him, but his car loan company wasn't sympathetic and put out a repo for his car. He was parking in Lot C that had a locked gate, so that the repo couldn't get his car. He was also at the same time trying to refinance his car. Thanks, Russell. Agreed upon weekly payment on May 8th, the apartment agreed a $500 a week payment plan to pay down Tennant's balance, Exhibit A. I guess we can go to Exhibit A. That would be... would that be, like, in the middle of here? That's Exhibit C. I guess it doesn't matter. Nice blank page there, Russell. Why is it so long? Because Russell is a long-winded doof. It's just the bill for his car payment. Okay, fuck it. We're not gonna look at exhibits anymore. You see, I can prove that I had work done on my car. Oh, thank you. So Tennant made a $1,000 payment towards his rent in May 8th. Tennant was planning on doing this weekly. Apartment breached the weekly promise. The apartment, however, broke their promise with Tennant by not fixing their gate in Lot C to ensure it worked, and so a relentless repo got into the parking area and repoed his car and took away income from him that caused a disruption in his weekly $500 promise payments to the apartment. Blah, 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 blah. Aware of the gate defect, Tennant did not need to write a notice to landlord under NRS 118 since the complex had appeared to be fixing the gate. The apartment complex was aware of the defective gate and had maintenance people out there supposedly fixing the gate, but the gate was never fixed. In fact, a week before the repo, the complex had sent out an apartment-wide blah 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 blah. Okay. He's citing other court cases that he thinks supports his cause of action. But they don't. It only applies to, like, you know, what I was saying earlier, like vandalism, people coming in and doing illegal things to people's car. There's nothing illegal about repossessing a car because you weren't paying for it. Again, he should have just, like, got an older car that he could just pay off in 1 or 2 lump sums. Suing Dave is dumb, I agree. In fact, one of the reasons plaintiff wanted to move to the apartments was because of the feature of the gate. The apartment complex billed itself as a, quote, gated community, quote unquote. What is with locals and their love of gated communities? They think it protects them from everything, including the consequences of their actions. And if the loss did include repossession, the signed agreement would only prevent Tennant from suing for damages of the repossession. The parking addendum didn't waive Townhome's duty to have a functioning gate. Townhomes is punishing Tennant for their negligence. He can just write whatever he wants, I guess. His total income is $1,600 a month. His rent and mortgage is $1,099. It's an odd number. Utilities $300, food $200, childcare $0, medical expenses $0, transportation $400, total $1,999. So he's $400 below his weekly budget versus his income. It's like, okay, well, just like what a shit deal for an apartment. I guess it's a Vegas thing. You pay $10.99 a month for rent, and you also have to pay for utilities like electric, gas, water, phone. I guess that might, geez, $300 a month for a phone. That seems pretty high. Who knows what else is going to? If we break it down. But so that's almost $1,400 a month for renting an apartment in Vegas, no less. We can skip through here. There's his address, his phone number, his email. This is all public. This is not doxing. Exhibits. Exhibit A contains auto shop work. Proof the tenant paid $2,000 in February towards rent. A note: a death in his family caused a delay of a March-April payment. How? I'll have you know Vegas is very nice. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's a very nice desert. Very nice city in the middle of the desert. Hey, Russell, you know what you should do? You should gamble. You should take that money you would have spent on rent and take it to the slots. You take your money back and then some. It always works out. It's a win-win. Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it. How did the death in his family cause a delay? I guess we'll never know. I guess he had to go to a funeral and that cost him a bunch of money. Yeah, there's Exhibit A. This proves that I spent money on my car. Good afternoon. Attached, you'll find a proposed promise to pay schedule. God, he's just getting behind. It's funny. I'm guessing if you live in Vegas, you're very familiar with payment plans. So if you're a landlord in Vegas and they're like, hey, I want to pay you back over time, they know all about it. There's the last 4 digits of his card number. Man, he really put himself out here with this. Hi, did you have my car towed? It's no longer in my space. It's a black Nissan, a 2021. Oh, wow. Star Wars Outlaws is a mess. Yeah, I heard. Ubisoft has asked a bunch of Star Wars Outlaws PS5 players to install an update that restarts their save files from scratch due to game-breaking bugs. If you continue on your prior save, you will unfortunately face issues and progression blockers. Players paid $110 for early access. That's pretty funny. You pay that much extra, and then the game comes out, and they're like, you know that early access you wanted? Start on over. I mean, you have all that experience of playing the game. Isn't that worth it? You know how to play the game now. Now you can start over from the beginning. That's crazy. Was this game made in Unity? I think I heard somewhere that the game was made in Unity, which is really weird. It might explain why it's so buggy. That's odd. I'm sure a lot of games are made in Unity, but not like open world space games. Jesus, that's a lot. Assistance application. Good afternoon. Please find attached by application for rent assistance. Just some processes. Good morning. My name is Russell, and I have suffered a recent loss of income. I have rent due. I'm actually already behind on my rent. I'm a... Why did he scribble that out? I am a ride share driver. Why do you think scribbling that out would do anything? I'm a rideshare driver, and back in September, my car's alternator went out and it took 2 months to get it fixed. Because of that, it caused me to be months behind on my rent. My apartment has been very accepting and patient, but their patience is waning because of the alternator going out. My car loan fell behind, and the car loan place wouldn't work with me, so they repossessed it last week. I don't know why this part is cut off. My face is paralyzed, and it's hard finding. This is crazy. Hi, I'm still waiting to hear from you about why you're punishing me for your apartment's failure to fix the gates. I had paid you the $1,000. I was working on paying you every week, and then my source of income got repoed because the gates didn't work. No, it's because you didn't pay for your car. That's why. So in a way, it's your fault, and you have now made it impossible for me to find a new apartment with this eviction filing. I asked you to give me 2 weeks, but you had to rush to ruin my life. You had to rush to ruin my life. Oh, poor Russell. This is a guy who sues so many people just for not giving him attention. Like, from the outside, this would be seen as like a sympathetic story, but knowing the kind of person that Russell is, you feel no sympathy for him. It's a lot of posts. We can go over the Kiwi Farms response because this happened yesterday and already there's like 6 or 7 new pages to the Russell Greer thread. So who knows what's there left to go through. So, I didn't pay for my car. My car got repossessed because your gate didn't work to lock it away from the repo man. So in a way, it's your fault that my car is gone. So give me money. It's wild. This guy sues for everything. I know the car situation isn't your problem, but the gate not being fixed contributed to the problem of why I fell through on the deal. I can't do 75%. As I said, I'm working again. I just ask please to give me one last chance to do 500 weekly. I will get you 500 by this Sunday, and it would lower the amount owed. I can pay it weekly. Oh my god. And you're treating your apartment complex like a loan shark. You're in a bad situation. Maybe you should have stayed in Utah, Russell. This is a picture of his car not being there. Just in case you needed proof that his car was repossessed, he gives you an image of a parking lot. This is where my this is where my car would be if I had one. What a meme. Let's see, the way he writes is so ridiculous. Do we even get like, I wonder if there's like a response. Probably. Exhibit A shows proof the Townhouse Villa was advertising themselves falsely as a gated community when their gates do not work, and their gates not working is tenant's affirmative defense for why he fell through on the stipulated May payment plan due to the repossession as shown in the first documents and support document. They are punishing tenant for their negligence rather than admit their faults and give tenant a second opportunity to commit to the payment plan to pay down his rent. It's like, Russell, if you can't pay your car off, you can't pay your back rent. You should have just like rented a room in a house or something. Would have been like a third of the cost. And just like get a cheaper car. With a locked gate, a repo couldn't have taken tenant's source of income, his car, which he was actively trying to refinance on. Nothing in the lease says that a tenant accepts having not functioning gates. Wow, you got him. Dino Crisis never coming back. Capcom. That's a bummer. Well, at least we can just mod. We can mod Resident Evil 2 and put, what's her face? I forgot her name. Redhead, the main character. Dino Crisis creator Shinji Mikami. Regina, thank you. Does not believe there is enough room for this series due to the success of Monster Hunter. It's a bummer. Thanks, Monster Hunter bros. You're the reason why we don't get more Dino Crises. We need to have like a cosmetic. Put a Regina skin in Monster Hunter. That'll make people happy. We can just pretend all the monsters are dinosaurs. I like her outfit though. That's a very iconic outfit. I'm not sure the practicality of it, but it's probably very useful. Let's see. Okay. Basically, his argument is that it's your fault that my car got repossessed because you didn't have a locked gate where the repo man couldn't come and get it. See? This is where it says it's a gated community, but then the gate was broken. That proves that you guys are liable. This is like a scan of the rental agreement. Substantially comply with applicable state, federal, and local laws regaling safety, sanitation. He circles the word safety as if getting your car repossessed is a breach of your personal safety. It's like, no, that's a legal process. That's not like vandalism. There's the address. the rent. I guess the rent changed. That was weird. I thought the rent was $10.99. Now it's $11.09. I guess it changed. Periodic rent, late fees, total now due. Oh my god, 7,435. So this guy was like back like half a year. That's wild. They even let him stay there for like half a year while he was not paying rent. That's crazy. They were really nice to him. But not nice enough, I guess. Brianna Ross, wow. That's so ironic. I mean, it's so coincidental, I guess. Not really ironic. Because Russell's birth name before he was adopted was Brett Ross. Isn't that wild? The name of the landlord is Brianna Ross, whereas Russell Greer's name before being adopted was Brett Ross. Meme magic. It's wild. Of course, those damn women getting in between Russell and happiness. It's always. Oh my god, social security number? Yikes. Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks for putting that out there. You didn't see that, Twitch. That was blurred out. Okay, this is just rental agreement. Yeah, this is why this is 92 pages, I guess. None of this is important. He just scanned his rental agreement and attached it to his filing. Just scroll through, I guess. Yikes. Okay, arbitration. Do we get to see the response? I am the tenant. He's looking for parts that he wrote. My landlord agreed to a $500 a week payment. They didn't secure the gate, and so a repo took my source of income, breaching their promise. They're now punishing tenant for their failure. He's really going with that. Copy. This is the copy of his eviction notice. He just requests the court to prevent his landlord from evicting him. Tenant kindly asked the court to stay the eviction for 10 days because he is still searching for a place to live. He has no family in Las Vegas and is searching for other living accommodations. Again, a reminder, he moved to Las Vegas in order to be closer to America's Got Talent, which he thought he was going to win. Like, that was the only reason he moved from Utah to Vegas. The motion is denied. The court finds no good cause to stay. Womp womp. Do they even, like, give an argument for why not? Tenant appearing improper person. See, the funny thing is, like, if you read a court filing and it sounds well done and professional, you know that Russell didn't write it. If you have no nearby family, that would normally make you work harder to keep your place. Yeah. I mean, like, the irony, and I write it here. The local Mormon church offers their assistance, which is ironic since he's been spending the last few years ideologically spitting in their faces. Guess their religion isn't so stupid now, you hypocrite. So if you watch the early Russell Greer videos, he's very offensive towards the Mormon church because he resents them for not basically giving him a wife. Because I guess he thinks that's what Mormons need to do. Is that it for the filing? We're getting down here to the bottom. Is this the response? That'd be cool. I'm gonna see what they have to say. That's weird. Like, starts at 2. Whatever. Tenant never blamed the car load issues on anybody else but a faulty alternator, which he explained he was relying on his car for work and is how he was paying rent and bills. However, he was relying on landlord to uphold their end of the lease agreement to protect his car and their advertised gated community as he tried crawling out of the hole to catch everything up. If you're filing a legal document, just strip away the flowery language and the hyperbole and the metaphors and the idioms. Just leave those aside. You're not going to get extra points for fancy writing whenever you're trying to convince a judge that you're not at fault. He tried crawling out of the hole. Because they're just going to take you literally. What hole are you referring to, sir? You know, just the hole. It's a classic case of breach of contract. Plaintiff couldn't perform his promise because landlord didn't uphold their end, and is where the but-for argument comes into effect. You've activated my trap card. He really thinks that's how the law works. The tenant even told his landlord he's needed his car for money when they made the agreement. I told you, okay? That represents a contract, I guess. The summary eviction order must be set aside because procedurally the order is legally invalid because tenant cited binding case law that showed landlord owed a duty. I put in the cheat code, so that means you're liable. It's like, no, it all comes down to the fact that the car loan place had a right and a duty to take your car. It wasn't the apartment complex's responsibility to stand between you and the bank. Like, they're not gonna, like, they could be held liable for that, right? If they actually, like, stand between Russell and the bank repossessing his car, they could be in trouble. Hey guys, it's Hey Sensakurai. But Russell really expected them to do it, and since they didn't, he wants to hold them responsible. A Transformers project. That's cool. Is it gonna be like a movie or a short? Sweet. Studio Trigger working hard. We're getting down here to the bottom. Exhibit A. Gatewise is active. Hello residents. Gatewise is officially activated and our gates have been closed. Please make sure to get your app set up for the system or you will not be able to enter the community. The Gatewise app. Oh god. We're heading into a weird dystopian future where you have to download apps to your phone in order to activate like gates and shit. We don't like put in key codes. Remember there was the keypad and you put in the number and that opened the gate? Nah, you have to download an app and like scan QR codes and shit. What a terrible time to be living in. It sounds like a pain in the ass. Download the app in order to get in and out of your gate. I guess there isn't really a part where they respond. But yeah, they just deny the motion. That's basically all it is. 92 pages to say, nah, bitch, you gotta get out. Yeah, because sadly people are too stupid to remember the numbers. They just make the app do all the work. How many people lose their phones though? And they're like, I can't get out. I can't get in or out. I lost my phone. I see that for people delivering food on YouTube, you punch in a code. Yeah, I guess that makes sense for delivery. You gotta like get access through your app, and you could connect it to like Uber and shit. All right, let's read the Kiwi posts. It's actually the eviction wasn't all that happened for Russell this month. He sold off his possessions, including his piano. Oh no, his ability to make music. Let's see. Here is his post for things to sell. Russell lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. He joined Facebook in 2008. Russell's listing. Hey, you want a chair for $5? I got this beat up old wicker chair for $5. I need to pay my rent. Sold $65 piano stand. That's quite a deal. $40, 32-inch screen TV. Wow, look at that. Look at what it's standing on, or what it's sitting on. It's like plastic plastic crate thing. Really living the nomad lifestyle. Electric guitar and speaker, $60. It's really fire sailing this stuff. $20 medium-sized couch. This is $10. 2 mid-sized golf clubs. 2 Dell monitor. I guess it was the monitors themselves. That's the things he sold. These are the pictures of his golf clubs. These are the monitors. 2 Dell monitors, keyboard, and power adapter. These are some junky looking monitors. 2 very functional Dell monitors. They're not just functional, they're very functional. That I don't need anymore. Throwing in with them a keyboard and a power adapter. And there's the couch. You probably slept on this thing. Down from 30 to 20. Cool. Need to sell by tomorrow. Yikes. Selling a medium-sized sofa that can seat 3 adults. It is also very comfortable to sleep on. So that probably means he slept on it. No tears and no major stains. No major stains. Oh, cool. You only get minor stains on this couch. I'm sure he thought he was on the top of the world when he moved into that apartment. He's like, I'm moving to Vegas. I'm gonna win America's Got Talent, and if I lose, I'm gonna sue. I'm gonna claim that they discriminated against me, and they're gonna have to let me on America's Got Talent. It's like this is the thing with Russell. It's like he sues to force people to allow him into places, and like he doesn't really consider what happens afterwards. Like if you strong arm your way into a situation, like they're not gonna want you there. They're not gonna like you when you're there. It's gonna be a really tense situation. Okay, he sold off his possessions, including his piano. Shortly afterwards, he commemorated this by purchasing a $6 chocolate frappuccino. So, in case you're feeling sympathetic to the guy, this is what he spends his money on. $6 frap, yum yum. He really wanted that chocolate. McDonald's too. Like it's not even... McDonald's is charging $6 for chocolate drink. He eats like a kid. He really loves his chocolate. He's a big chocoholic, which is weird. I don't know how he eats stuff with a mouth that doesn't move. I guess he just like baby birds it. He just like, he leans back and he opens his mouth and he just like pours it down. That's a good deal. Yeah, $6 frap. He also went on what he calls a vacation, which was just him walking a few blocks to film outside of the Vegas Sam's local hotel. This is what it looked like. It's a cool looking place, I guess. This is like the courtyard in the middle. I hate how VLC works. Pause. Okay, I can pause. It's cool. It's like a park in the middle of the complex. Yeah, a staycation. That's kind of crazy. I guess he's just like trying to make people think he's doing all right. When he's just like in free fall. August 13th. Russell approaches a hairstylist with flowers and gets rejected. He then leaves a negative review on Yelp claiming discrimination. The stylist, named Janelle, here's a picture of our lady Janelle. Russell has the thing for women with big toothy smiles, I've noticed. He has like a fetish. He has like a teeth fetish, which I guess kind of makes sense because his teeth are always showing because he can't close his mouth. And so whenever he sees a lady with a big toothy smile, he's like instantly enamored. Regardless of their race, I guess. There's nothing wrong with that. Stylist Janelle replies telling her side of the story. Let's see if we can find this. these are like the conversations. This is a response. All right, here's the initial one. He really has a way with words. 1-star review. Awful customer service. Janelle will flake and ghost rather than be professional and try to fit in with clients whom she where's the full thing? Here it is. He even makes it rhyme. A different song in here. It's Oracle. Awful customer service. Janelle will flake and ghost rather than be professional and try to fit in clients whom she approached. Is he trying to write a song here? Why is he writing it like it's poetry? Janelle, you can like imagine a beat along with this. Janelle will flake and ghost rather than be professional and try and fit in with clients whom she approached. I don't know. That's a very bad flow. I don't see this making the top 40, Russell. I have a disability, and I feel this business has discriminated against me for my immutable traits. Poor guy. Everything is about his disability. So she replied, response from the owner. You have never been in for a haircut. There's the response. You've never been in to have a haircut. You tried to bring me flowers and make it romantic in nature. I am not comfortable serving you. I have not discriminated you. You are not appropriate. Man. Like, typically when people get rejected, it's not so public. It's so funny. This has all happened within 1 month. This is a parody. Please take this down. You have never come in for a service. For a small business, 1-star reviews can be devastating, so Janelle goes to Facebook to plead her case, resulting in more positive reviews to offset Russell's slander. So she's like, it's like, what the hell, guys? And people rally around, letting Janelle know all about Russell. From a quick glance, this guy seems to latch on to try and sue people and use his disability as a way to garner support, if only in his mind. His negative reviews commonly denote some sort of bias against him or others. Be sure to document these first encounters or anything you can at this point. As pointed out, he frequents and reviews brothels and massage parlors, and he certainly gives off the creep. A civil lookup reveals lots of restraining orders and an eviction. It's all true. This link is... You would think... I was wondering, I was like, what is this YouTube video linking to? It was like, it'd be nice if it was to my video, but no, it's actually to Russell's own video. His explainer video where he tries to explain away his own past. Close that. We can close the filing, I guess. Don't need that anymore. Oh boy. So where's the post where she's like dealing with this? Sue for libel and restraining order. Don't wait. Yep, working on it now. So she said she's working on a restraining order. Another restraining order for Russell. Please. Okay. Yeah, here's the post. Please help. I rejected this man's advances, and now he is making fake profile reviews to the 1-star review on my Las Vegas page on Google. If anyone has the time or understands how much blood, sweat, and tears goes into a business for someone to be this reckless, please take a moment to report the reviews. I would be very grateful. Thank you. So the update, he took him down. I can't thank you enough. You're all awesome with the reviews. Something that was negative turned into a positive with all your kindness. I'm so grateful. So it basically just backfired on Russell. Russell tried to give a 1-star review to basically hurt the business of a woman who rejected him. And so she asked for help, and a bunch of the small businesses rallied together and gave her like 5-star reviews to offset it. So it turned out in her favor. Hydro massage at my happy place. So he goes to Planet Fatness. gets a hydro massage. This is how he spends his money. And $6 frappuccinos. Jeopardizing women's livelihood just because they aren't wooed by his advances is an all too typical expression of Grizz extreme levels of vindictiveness. I like to write fancily in my write-ups. Janelle even hints at getting a restraining order, which would up the total to 5. That would mean 5 restraining orders. If you're getting 5 restraining orders, maybe you're the problem. I guess. No, I'm just being discriminated against. That's the whole reason. Russell continues to treat LinkedIn as if it's a dating site, making inappropriate comments and begging for replies to his DMs. We can take a look at those. LinkedIn. They're not wooed by his 3-inch penis. Don't be impressed by titles, appearances, or money. Do be impressed by integrity, humility, and generosity. Russell responds, then you should definitely reply to my messages. Oh, this dude. Reply to my DMs, goddammit. And then he responds to other people. Like, someone is like, hello, princess. We're diving into your post. It's like watching a shark that... What the fuck? This is like a AI wrote it. Dude, this isn't Tinder. Really, Russell? You don't say. This is another LinkedIn post. He really likes those, this very, I don't know what to say. Like, this type of woman. Runaway professional, I guess. Absolutely. When I was a kid and teen, I was shy. Then when I got older, I broke out of my shell emoji. Confidence takes a lot of work. Pretty woman. Haha. But answer your DMs sometime. Ace makes revenge. We're taking a look at Russell's shenanigans. She does seem pretty hot, but I don't think I can... You look at this and you're like, yeah, like on the face, she's conventionally attractive, but imagine like this being your girlfriend. It'd be like a lot to handle. But what do I know? Hot indeed. Big smile. Gorgeous and sophisticated, says Russell. Sure. What the fuck? The solar eclipse could, in fact, not eclipse your beauty. This guy's really laying on the charm on LinkedIn. That explains your tropic beauty. I'm excited to share that I have completed my first week as a clinical research intern at Mayo. Brains and beauty. Some of these are kind of innocent, but these ones are really creepy where he's like, I sent you a message, respond. It's like they don't have to respond to your messages. Like, I'm sure they don't appreciate the feeling of pressure that you give off when you're like, I sent you a message, write me back. I'm like, dude, I'm just here to network with actual people who can get stuff done, not just like random dudes. Thoughts on Keem helping DSP hook up with Max? Ew. Cringe. So Maximilian, dude, what do you think about me? How cool do you think I am, Maximilian, dude? That's my first question. Hey, hello, sir. Hey, sir. Hey, Max, what a date. Let's play some video games together. Haven't you got the memo that everyone thinks I'm cool now? Everyone says I'm cool all of a sudden, don't you know? I mean, these two drama queens, this ex-cokehead and the guy who spread his ass cheeks and posted it online, they said I'm a king. You want to hang out? Very cringe. It does have like the same sort of energy as Russell like creeping on Instagram models. Write me back, okay? No. Wow. Time with your child is more important than anything, and Russell responds, then she should stop hanging out with English soccer players, LOL. It's this kind of irresponsible behavior that makes me laugh. It makes me laugh.
Don't make me laugh.
It makes me laugh. Like if he says it that way, you can't be like, wow, what an asshole. Like, what are you talking about? I just said it makes me laugh. I guess I don't understand why chasing after the limelight like this is cool. This is a guy who sues in order to get into the limelight. Thank you for the antlers. Look at the what is this? It is a very fruity way of walking. That is an odd walking posture, I gotta say. So Kinocopter is like, they can't handle DSP winning, and I'm just like, you are an idiot. It's really not much I can say. Is that it for the Instagram? Probably not. Oh God. You dropped your crown, my queen. This is how you get the women on your side, Russell. You call them queen. This is apparently how it works. Queen? You're a queen. Oh, I guess I'll interview you now. Yes, Russell. Look at how the Kino kids do it. You'll learn dating advice from PPP and Warski. That's how you get the women. So that's Instagram, or not Instagram, but LinkedIn. August 22nd. In a devastating blow. If PPP is a virgin, I believe it. In a devastating blow to prostitution enjoyers everywhere, the website for Russell's proposed fantasy brothel, the Wild West Resort, goes offline. Same goes for the website for his proposed political action committee at Safer Nevada. Ironic, given Russell's crusade to shut down other websites. So I made a meme. Kiwi farmers must go. And Nola's like, who must go? And there's Russell's own websites that are gone. And we got a happy doggo. The PPP got low T, like wings. Hey, we don't need to be that mean, but sure. So this is safernevada.org. You can see that. And address bar. Wix.com looks like your domain is connected to a website. And this one is for the Wild West Resort NV.com. Account suspended. So if you saw the Russell Greer videos, you know about a Safer Nevada, which is his PAC that he tried to get signatures for in order to basically amend brothel laws locally in Nevada. Pretty much just to allow brothels closer to where people live, so he could, I don't know, make more of them. And if there's more brothels, then not only does he get to attend more brothels more easily, some of them might shut down, and then he'll pretend like he can swoop in and buy them for himself, even though he doesn't have any money. But he thinks that just by doing so, he can attract the attention of angel investors who will financially back him. So they give him money to buy a brothel, and then I guess he just runs it and gives a percentage of the profit back to the investor. The next PS5 model is PS5 Pro. I did see that. That was very weird. That they're raising the price of the PS5. I thought this shit was supposed to get less expensive, but I guess Japan's economy is not doing so well. Better have a disc drive? No, it doesn't. It does not have a disc drive. Consoles are getting rid of the physical element, I guess. Which is sad. I think I'll stick with my PS4. I mean, it's not like my VR headset has a disc drive. So what can I say? Does not know if there's an addition with the disc drive. Same DualSense controller. Expects announcements in September. Only Nintendo keeps retail, because Japan, yeah, that's a good point. Nintendo being the last holdout for classic gaming, as usual. So that's it. That's it for the text file I've got. We can look at the post made in the thread. 7 years since the start of this thread. 7 years and his life has not moved forward 1 inch. Yeah, I know, the hallmark of a lolcow. Think of everything you have done and accomplished in the last 7 years. Even if you accomplished the most minor of things, Russell still can't manage to do even that. It's hilarious because he is an awful person, but so grim at the same time. Check this out. Someone said they were doing the price hike as a way to make up for the $200 million loss on Concord. Fucking Sony, dude. And I heard, like, they gutted the department that handled, like, games like Bloodborne in order to do shit like Concord. It's like, you cannot make me more angry. I'm, like, peak. I can't go any angrier than the situation. Technically, he's right. He can't get work as a paralegal due to a disability. He's just wrong about the disability. It's a mental retardation. Only a retard would file and continue to file those suits. It's like, yeah, like, his disability isn't really all that disabling. It's not like he's wheelchair bound. He can't walk, or, you know, he can't think correctly. I guess, at least according to him. He claims he has nothing wrong with his head, but Jesus. He just, like, has a hard time talking, which I can sympathize with. I don't have the best voice in the world either, Russell, but I make do, I guess. Russell filed something on the 12th of August with the case against KF with his Dumont address listed. So it's yet another bullshit address that he can't be served at, but at least it's real, unlike South Twain, which doesn't exist. I like saying denied no less than 4 times instead of granted, because Russell is a retard that should be babied. See what happens when you get a good, competent judge who wants to move shit along and be efficient. No kidding. These are my notes for the Keemstar thing. I don't even need to save them. People are enjoying that post, I guess. It's a very quick way for people to get caught up on the Keem and DSP discussion. Whatever that means. Let me switch my account here. Let me look at Pippa for a second. Okay, I'm on YouTube. Dustborn gets way worse. We got confirmation that Keem dyes his beard. We wouldn't have known otherwise. Again, because I played this skit on stream yesterday, the stream is blocked. So YouTube is cutting out that part of the stream. It'll be up today, most likely, but near the notes. What's Pippa doing? You can see my new wallpaper. My other platform there. Papakin.
I think you could have been playing Dustborn. I should have been playing Dustborn. I don't know what's... Hello?
What's up, chat?
Oh god.
Oh no.
What's up, chat?
I'm playing video games right now.
Oh. Just thought I'd let you know that we got a new family pet.
Uh-huh.
Pet termite.
I like how her mouth moves whenever he's talking.
Favorite cowboy movie star.
Because it's tied to the mic input.
Learn to fear 7.
Got a family
That we
pet.
got a new family pet.
Uh-huh.
Pet termite. And named him Clint. After my favorite cowboy movie star, Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Learn to fear 7.
And then he just left. Thanks, Dad. You know Pippa can afford her own place, but I guess she's saving up so she can retire earlier, maybe.
Okay. Okay. Alright. Clint eats wood.
Clint eats wood.
I need to start drinking alcohol first. Dynamic Doodle, Clint Love.
What's the pet? Is it like a pet beaver? Like,
I'm playing video games right now.
Oh. Just thought I'd let you know that we got a new family pet.
Uh-huh.
Pet termite. And named him.
a pet termite. God, this is such a dad joke. We got a pet termite. The name is Clint Eatswood. Get out of here, Dad. Fucking goober. Poor Pippa. If she doesn't want to be raided by her father, she can get an apartment in Las Vegas for $1,400 a month. Your car being repossessed when you're delinquent in payments is not unexpected, nor is it your landlord's fault. Every time I think he couldn't possibly get more retarded, he proves me wrong. Even Cobes is more competent than this. Whew, that's a low bar that Russell cannot get over. I'd say he will live in a van down by the river, but they took his car too. I'm pretty sure having your car repoed because you stopped paying for it is not a legally cognizable harm, and your landlord isn't legally obligated to thwart the lawful collection activities of your creditors. Yeah, epic dad joke. Like, what do you even say at that point? Other than, get out of here. She took it well. It takes a lot of energy and effort to just be a blight on the earth and a soul-sucking vortex of misery to everyone you encounter. Well, ask Phil. Ask DSP how he does it. What do we got, Mr. Extravagant? What are you linking to?
Give or take. And now, I spent all that money on doing stand-up.
How did you? Were you paying them to laugh?
And they always cut me out of the videos. They always, and I was, editors have told me that it's because you have too much of a personality.
I think that when they told you that they kicked you because you had too much personality, that was sort of like a nice way of saying that you are insufferable.
I want to talk about this. This was given to me by a real...
Why is the corner of the screen? Can you see this? The corner of the screen? Why is this here? This is the first thing I noticed because I'm weird, I guess. Activate Windows. Go to settings to activate Windows. Bro, just activate Windows, bro. Come on. This guy has this like weird goober manlet energy, but not as much as the other guy. Like all of Mr. Beast's orbiters just have like this weird dork physiognomy. Like this guy. Like, holy shit, this dude. I cannot get over how this dude looks.
Beast.
He is such a fucking, I don't know. It's like the word dork in the dictionary. And you find this guy. Like, you already have, like, the bone structure of a tapeworm. At least do something with your hair instead of just, like, make it look like you style it with a weed whacker. Anyways. I guess Mr. Beast puts these people around him because they're less threatening. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know what you could do about a situation like that.
Expose various dark secrets about the Mr. Beast organization.
That's why I wanted you to watch this one. I think it's a good vid. I don't know why I timestamped it. I'm dumb, sorry. It's 24 Minutes, The Dark Secrets of Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast tried to silence you by instantly taking down the first video. We could take a look at it. EDP? Gross. What the heck? What is that? Gross? Is that a, who is that? I don't want to know. What the fuck's going on here?
Flipped, and he took a cameraman and he threw him into the water.
And then Mr. Beast.
Why are your shorts so small? Get. It's like he's in his underwear. Jesus, gross. That's, oh god, I knew something was off about that. Nasty. What is this? You guys are sharing a lot. That's fine. Sharing is caring. Cyberpunk 2077 creator CD Projekt Red revealed that they are planning more animation projects set in the Cyberpunk universe. Fuck yeah. I mean, David is dead, so it's not like we're gonna see more of him. But Lucy lived. Gives the same director. Yeah, one can hope, but the Studio Trigger is a hard people to get a hold of. They're busy ruining Suicide Squad. Yes. I hope it has some of the main characters. They better make another version of her. Another Rebecca, but sadly she's a pancake. Just get another Rebecca, a different one. It'd be like a Rebecca super fan who augments her body just to be identical to Rebecca, and then we can have her back. Let's see. Is this another Google review? Oh. Huh. I forgot about this post. Russell left a 1-star review for the LDS Church in Vegas. Bishop Diaz and the Elders Quorum president apparently had a revelation of the Spirit telling them to not help me at my lowest. And to think, the Mormon Church is worth over $1 billion and they can't be bothered to help their own. Well, why should they? Save that. That could be useful later. Oh my.
Oh my.
So it was the bishop and the elders quorum president, which is basically the guy over the men. The elders get it. So get it. Oh shit, so it was 2 on 1 saying he was bad news. What is this Hayabusa feather?
Ooh.
How Y ends B off whippets. Does that mean YN? What is a YN?
Ooh.
What's going on here?
Ooh, that's some gas right there, bro. I'm gonna be so ready for in school. If you think about it, ooh. 9 out of 10 of the subjects we be doing right now, we're not gonna use in real life. Ooh, trigonometry? It ain't no point, bro. Like, I understand math. I understand reading and literature, all shit like that. But shit like calculus, I hope we had them Salisbury steaks again for lunch.
What are you doing?
Because I got this green lime flavor.
Stop.
The lime with the Salisbury steak, hope it go crazy.
Cobes is like, this is what's up. That's my favorite thing to do. Did you hear, like, Jessica even does it now?
Crazy. Might have to bring out the honey flavor if they have a peanut butter and jelly.
My mom keeps
Bro, just smoke weed. Like everyone else.
The other day she gonna ask me that I want to wash the dishes. It was right after I smacked one of these, a cherry grape flavor.
Smacked it. My dude's coming. This, that, and the third. Do the dishes. I said.
Does he think he's like Dracula flowing right now?
It's nothing when you got the cherry grape on hand. She left. I said. This is to be done in about 5 minutes. We're in the movies or whatever. She started.
That's not. Is that even a whippet? It looks like a fucking like ceiling cock.
We're in the movies.
It doesn't even. Yeah, that's not. Like, this is a joke. This isn't real. He's like sucking on the end of like a construction cock. Cock, not you know how it's spelled.
Or whatever. She started tripping because I took a quick whipper. And she was tripping about that. I said, if you can't whip with me, baby, how it's gonna be would it be? She gotta be a whipper if she fucking with me.
Nice skit, I guess.
How sad we got till school start?
That motherfucker hitting the cock. You know you fucked up when you actually thinking about the school Salisbury steak. Brain on the verge of melting. Whoever made flavored nitrous containers needs to be sentenced to life. I took a quick whipper. He has the whippet voice down perfectly. Okay, that was funny, I guess. That was unique. Let's listen to this again.
Oh my.
There. That's funny. God has allowed me to live another day, and I'm about to make it everyone else's problem. That's some DSP energy. So I guess there's some connection there. That 1-star review of the church is related to, I guess he wanted them to pay his rent. I don't know. He has really unreasonable expectations. Someone made a pretty funny post. Where was it? Here. This is a parody of Russell style legal filing. Russell Greer versus Janelle, a hairdresser. If you don't get that joke, it's like when Russell sued Kiwi Farms, every legal filing was Russell versus Kiwi Farms, a website. I don't know why that's so funny, but he had to specify that Kiwi Farms is a website, even though like you can't sue a website. Like literally, it's like not a serviceable entity. You have to like serve a person, like a CEO or someone. In a world where discriminating the disabled is second nature, the disabled suffer damages beyond calculation. Plaintiff Russell Greer, henceforth known as Greer, seeks judgment against Janelle, a hairdresser, in the amount of $100 million in punitive damages, a sum reached through the estimated costs of opening Greer's fantasy brothel. For torts of discrimination and defamation against Greer, Greer files in the Superior Court of U.S. Virgin Islands because Greer would be a virgin if all prostitutes discriminated Greer. In addition, Greer seeks a preliminary injunction against the business of Janelle, a hairdresser, and asks that this court hereby orders the cessation of businesses for the duration of litigation, as its continued operation will put more of the disabled at risk of discrimination, just like Greer. Greer would consider settling with defendant Janelle, a hairdresser, if Janelle, a hairdresser, agrees to suck Greer's penis. Greer's mailing address is 42069. This address does not exist. Street, Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a good parody. It's a good parody post. It has like all the highlights of your typical Russell filing. I'll be willing to settle if you suck me my penis. That was actually that was in the Taylor Swift case. It's like, I would drop the suit if you take me out on a date. It does sound like something you would do. That's why it's so funny. Okay, page 4,376 out of 4,378. This Russell is a very prolific lolcow. That's why I like making videos about him. Whenever I get tired of the DSP shit, you can just look at a different cow. I find it interesting that he explicitly said he was going to appeal it and just decided not to. Why wouldn't he appeal the eviction? I mean, yeah, kind of moot if he got kicked out, but that never stopped him before. Good point. Who's the repo man? There's just a lot of discussion, a lot of posting. I was wondering if there was anything on the legal side of things, but people just like to talk. Eternights coming to Switch on October 17th. Is Eternights what kind of what? It's weird. Trying not to scroll. Is it like a VN? I don't know what kind of game it is. People love their Switch collection. Ah, Russ. Pop star dreams and a country song life. The repo people. For the past year, Tennant had to do jobs with his car for income. Even the shittiest of cheap, shitty cars is highly unlikely to suffer from a bad alternator after only a couple of years from new. However, let's assume Russell did end up with a dud. First, it'd be repaired under warranty, as it's clearly a faulty part. Second, it would take 3 months for the dealer to replace it. Like, I had an alternator that went bad. I had like a Nissan Altima. This is another Nissan. It's a Versa. I had a Nissan Altima. The alternator went bad, so I just went on eBay and I got another alternator. And I just took the part to a garage and they were like, "Hey, put this.
My wife is fat.
Put this in there." And it got taken care of. Hey, Lonely Sully. We're looking at Greer. Looking at Russell Greer. I LOL'd about how he called the repo person relentless. You saw one of Phil's mobile games he plays is shutting down.
My wife is fat.
Final Fantasy Brave Exvius global version to end service on October 30th. Oh no! That must be so weird to spend like hundreds of dollars on a mobile game just to have the mobile game shut down, and it's not like you get your money back. What are people commenting? Nah, they're just enjoying the banter. Oh god, Mr. Beast in his tiny shorts, haunting. Not even in 7 years. Let's compare Russell's 7-year legacy to that of other lolcows. Chantel moved on from like 3 different boyfriends. Lotax fucking died. Melissa Scott has effectively fucked off. I think it's Melinda Scott, but I can forgive you. Amberlynn has had 3 different GFs and they all wiped her ass. Yennev has lost pretty much everything and is probably in daily agony from his infections. Oh god. Chris fucked his mom. In spite of all of this, Russell has effectively been at a standstill, and I think that's what makes his case impressive, is how he's never moved forward from the Taylor Swift arc. Wiped her what? Yes, Amberlynn. All of Amberlynn's girlfriends have the illustrious duty of duty. I just came up with that on the fly. Sometimes I impress myself. Fuck, we got a license plate number, Jesus. This is what you get when you scroll through KF. So in a way, it's your fault, and you have now made it impossible for me to find a new apartment with this eviction filing. I asked you to give me 2 weeks, but you had to rush to ruin my life. This is probably the funniest part of the whole filing. Just the way he writes this. Eviction. I'll save that as a highlight. Is that it? Just people are just dunking on him. I love these bits in particular early on. These are from 2 separate pages, just on one image. Hard to tell since it's just all white hoops. Retard utterly perplexed that a bank of all entities wasn't all hugs and rainbows compared to some dude he's paying rent to. He describes Repo Man like he didn't sign a fucking contract or something. Unwelcome third parties with nefarious intentions, like they're vandals. Candy wants you to pretend like they're one and the same. Is she too fat to wipe her own? What's her finishing? I think she is too fat. I think that is what it is. She just can't reach. Like, isn't that so weird? Like, her arms are too short and fat that she can't, like, just put her, like, can't you just, like, reach down? I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. But, Shani has the same issue. But Shani's, like, 200 pounds heavier than Amberlynn. I don't know what the deal is. Like, I don't want to talk about it. It's too gross. It's too early in the morning. People are, like, probably, like, eating breakfast and shit. But yeah, lolcows are gross. Needless to say. Normally, I'd say he was lying to make himself look poorer than he is to help get him his informer paupera status. But there's no benefit to doing that here. 2,000 a month income with 100% use is functionally the same as being $400 in the hole every month. Both cases, he's broke. He also said that his rental car is costing him $400 a week, yet his car expenses are $400 a month. Huh. The illustrious duty of duty. I know. I don't know why I came up with that. It's all the duty talk. He asserted that he both made $1,600 a month and $1,200 and $2,000 a month. That's so weird. When's the total combined monthly income of all adults? 2,000. Here he says 1,600. I guess it depends. He should have had a side gig or something. If you told me Amber actually could do it and it's just lazy, I'd believe it. Yeah, many such cases. You know, Andrew Ditch, another lolcow, like, he says he's incontinent because of his autism, but it's like, I don't think incontinence is a symptom of autism. Like, I've never heard that be the case. I mean, it's just a fetish for him. So he says that not only does he need to wear diapers, but he needs other people to change them for him. But it's like, why can't you do that yourself? Lolcows. And that's it, I guess, for the thread. Nissans are hot garbage. The further you get away from the 90s. Just people giving their opinions. That was a pretty big filing, so I guess people had a lot to say. Seen the lolcow Mr. Based? Yes. Didn't he turn himself into the police? And he's like facing a couple years in prison? Okay, let's take a look at this.
Mr. Beast is now the most popular YouTuber on the platform. His videos are watched by millions of adoring fans. Not me though, because his videos are made for idiot children. But unfortunately, Mr. Beast has decided to surround himself with pedophiles, sex offenders, and worst of all, Twitch streamers. January 2023, Mr. Beast member Chris Tyson announces that he is now a woman.
Fully presenting as a woman.
I did, because I am a woman.
Oh, shit!
She, her.
The question on everybody's lips. Why did this man with a wife and child give it all up for a receding hairline and no bitches? There were many theories. Perhaps following his divorce he went insane, and now in a Freudian effort is attempting to transform himself in mind, body and soul to become his wife, assuming the maternal position that was now gone from his post-divorce life. Alternatively, mental illness. There are two types of people in this world. The naive and the noticers. The naive said things like, I'm so happy Chris is living the best life. You are so beautiful and I'm being serious.
The noticers.
Serious isn't a lie. Finally, Z can be happy in their own skin. And the noticers said things like, pedophile, 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 pedophile. So they started digging into Chris Tyson's past, discovering a terrible secret. Chris Tyson is actually a gooner. Chris had made many tweets in the past bigging up Shadman, who draws pornography of real children. Chris Tyson even made specific requests for Shadman to create art of certain child characters, such as Raftalia from Rising of Shield Hero, Beast Boy from Teen Titans, and Caillou. Motherfucker.
Leave Raftalia alone. What the f... Leave her alone. She did nothing wrong.
Rising of Shield Hero, Beast Boy from Teen Titans, and Caillou. Motherfucker was joking.
The show's already dead. Leave her alone. Hey, now I know it fell off.
Off to the pedo incest Caillou porn. His obsession with Shadman was so massive that he printed off a Shadman picture and hung it on his wall for all to see. He would also mention Shadman to minors in his Discord server. As well as this, Chris Tyson's Reddit comments were all leaked, and it turns out that Chris Tyson actually has a fart.
You know what? The latest episode of Dear Anime was pretty good. It was a pretty good one. I think it's the best episode out of like the last 3 episodes that have come out. If you haven't watched it,
ass.
It's really funny.
Shitting fetish.
There's one scene I kind of want to show you,
which becomes a lot more concerning when you realize that Chris Tyson actually uploaded a video of his 2-year-old son taking a shit in his bath, which was then taken down by TikTok for being inappropriate content. He also, in an attempt to own the trolls, actually went out and bought a pair of perfectly fitting high heels for his 2-year-old son, and then posted a picture of it to Twitter.
No!
How am I supposed to take this? This is clearly grooming.
But to me, the backlash honestly made total sense. Look at this tweet right here. This is ironic because I used to go to Jimmy's for internet access. It wasn't the internet or people or anything. It was me seeing the clothes in my sister's closet at 5 and knowing I enjoyed wearing those clothes. Even at the best case scenario, they're using their child as like a prop to funnel the outrage machine, which is just...
No! My website I used to watch anime. They're all going down one by one. No. Ah. God damn it. A lot got taken down, yeah. I thought that was spared, though. I thought that one was not taken down.
Horrifying, right?
Some of this shit was so weird that even resident pedophiles like EDP would come out of the woodwork like, Chris, buddy,
Okay,
what's
thank
going
you.
on with these kids, man? Like,
Holy
It's alright, I know.
shit, man. So my
I can see it, though.
motherfucking main nigga, Chris Tyson, supports child porn. We gotta protect our youth. We gotta protect our kids from weird-ass freak motherfuckers like this, you feel me? Chris
nice.
Tyson is a transgender.
now, despite people like me calling this out for years, a lot of this went under the radar or was flat ignored and swept up by other YouTubers. People like Ethan is Online or Big Joel, that type of ugly person. People who, despite complaining about a 14-year-old saying the N-word in a private Discord server, are now defending a grown man's right to masturbate to small children, as this is top standard edgy humor. And I feel I have some authority to speak on the topic of edgy humor. There are two types of edgy humor. The first are people who just post be gay, do
It's all about the high
crimes
seas, yes.
memes, aka pedophiles. And then the second type are also pedophiles. People like Amos Yee, Shadman, Shane Dawson, Vito. These people's humor is just openly
Fucking
being
Vito.
a pedophile and then getting angry when people don't understand that it was just a joke. But they are actually a pedophile.
No! Bro, look what happens. You link me to this. Okay, I found my dear anime. I click on it, and I get this. This has been taken down too. Aww. Goodbye. Oh shit.
Now, the other reason why YouTubers sweep so hard for Chris Tyson is clearly because he transitioned into being a woman. There is no fucking way that a normal person would receive this amount of leniency when it came to consuming Shadman CP. That is until it comes out that the transient in question was allegedly grooming a 14-year-old.
Yeah,
A
that's
guy
fun.
called
Isn't that crazy? It's on YouTube. If you want to watch the episode, you can watch it on YouTube. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Prism made a video showing interactions Chris had with an at the time 14-year-old Discord mod, they get him in young,
YouTube,
called
the
Lava.
source of
Chris Tyson also
pirated
invited Lava
anime.
to meet with him and Mr. Beast in the woods. In all honesty, this video is pretty shit. It's all recorded outside, so the entire thing is filled with
Anyways,
bird
I'm
and
just
cougar
looking for one
noises.
scene.
And this guy got all of his information by offering the victim a job interview where he had to describe his molestation for the job. I don't want to think about what the job actually was. Like, did he even get it in the
There
end?
it is. You got,
Imagine
like,
going to a
full
job
fucking
interview and the guy's
episodes.
just sat there looking all solemn, and he just pulls out a child-sized dummy, puts it on his lap. If you could relive this situation, what would you have done differently? He also then sent off the information to Chris
There's this
Chan.
one. It's right here. This is I don't know. This is one scene that just made me just crack up laughing. This one here. It's so funny and.
And for his expert analysis, he was interviewing Chris for a different job. If you could go back and rape your mother again, what would you do differently?
God, what a time to
the
go
groomed
back here.
child in question then made a public statement saying that Chris Tyson hadn't done anything wrong, yada yada yada. Nobody actually cared. Everybody just sort of said, "You got groomed, idiot!" Except for Reddit, who actually said, No, it's cool. It's all good. A sentiment that didn't age well at fucking all. So after the news comes out, everybody turns against Chris Tyson, even the trans community, in an absolutely unprecedented turn of events.
Okay.
Technically
DM me on Discord.
disavowed
Let's,
Chris Tyson.
let's keep
Everyone
the piracy
except
talk off of
Trey
Twitch.
Yates, for you see, Trey Yates knows Lava, the 14-year-old, and Trey Yates knows Chris Tyson. And he was there when Chris Tyson met up with the 13-year-old in the woods. He was there, this guy. Really puts my mind at ease. You can't trust the allegations you see because Prism is a Republican, and he also collaborated with EDP. The problems with EDP, according to this guy, being that he is a conservative anti-transer, and not the fact that he is a known child sex offender.
He collabed with this creator named EDP. Apparently, this guy is a conservative whistleblower and is also against trans people.
He then proceeds to accidentally leak his Pornhub history on an edited video, so realistically, this is Chris Tyson's top guy. Straight after this, much to the chagrin of Trey Yates, Ethan is Online, Big Joel, and the rest of the pedophile community, it turned out that Chris Tyson had been messaging other minors over Snapchat. Now, admittedly, nothing in these DMs is explicitly sexual, as in, suck my dick, lick my massive pussy, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of weird shit, like Chris
What are
Tyson
we
keeps calling
watching?
these young boys
I
daddy.
don't even know what's going
The
on
message,
at this point.
"Let's keep it a secret," comes up. Probably the biggest thing you should literally never say to a child is, let's keep it a secret, followed by the simple one-word statement, anal. It turns out Chris Tyson wasn't just raping children, he was also raping adults. This person, Muskina, wrote a whole fucking novel about this, but don't you worry, I'm going to sum it up right now. So this guy sucked off Chris Tyson for a secretary position, at which point he thinks, how far can I go here? And then he gets nowhere. And is now crying rape after they couldn't suck their way to the top.
The first night at her house, she told me to set up in her bedroom as I would be sleeping in there with her. I thought that this was potentially the beginning of a relationship.
Yeah.
When we went to bed together
night.
that night, we ended up cuddling and kissing, which led to her taking her clothes off and asking for oral sex from me. I went down on her expecting to engage in sex that would be reciprocated, but when I was done she made it clear that she did not want to return any sexual favors to me. I was hoping that would not be the case the next time we hooked up, and I believed we would be moving to something more mutual over the course of the next week. Ava engaged me sexually and ended up receiving oral pleasure several times, but she never reciprocated any sexual favors in return when I was done. I was too scared to directly ask for anything in return, and she took advantage of that.
That's not a crime, that's just gay sex. Not crime, but I wish it was. Hey, you wanted a better career, maybe that ass play should have been on the table. You think Carl Jacobs got where he is by just sucking dick? No! He was getting fucked! In the words of a famous Eastern proverb, in the world of male prostitution, the ass is never off limits. Dude, you were sucking dick for a secretary position. You know what I mean? You were sucking dick for 20k a year.
Who's an ugly boy? Yes, you are.
For a secretary position, it's like a kiss and the promise of something more. Alright? And then for social media manager, it's like a nude. And then you only start sucking dick when you're like director of communications for the entire company. You know?
What was that Photoshop? That was... No, George, no. You can't breathe. Get off of him. What an injustice.
Dude, and then you only start sucking dick when you're like director of communications for the entire company. You know, a real
We're
woman
gonna start
would know
another
that.
riot.
He was sucking off the horniest dude on the planet for a government salary. After Mutahar created his Keffels video, he received a DM from Chris Tyson afterwards.
So glad you said there's legit info on Kiwi. Legit being people telling people to come to my house and kill me. That website is the reason my child has had a gun pointed at him by cops. They renamed my family's business on Google, harassed and doxed my family members to the point where they don't talk to me anymore.
Maybe
and
because
are the
you're a
reason I
dick.
had to move. So thank you.
You're the reason
for
my
sending
family
more
doesn't
eyes
talk
to
to
the bottom
me.
of the barrel of the internet, where transphobia is encouraged by the creator, who enjoys and has encouraged doxes of me because they think I'm a Jew being paid by Disney to transition.
Someone who claims to be Chris Tyson's sister came out and publicly said that the reason she doesn't talk to Chris is because she caught him getting aroused after stealing and wearing her clothes. The account also has messages going back as far as 2018, strengthening the connection. Chris Tyson's mother has also posted
I can't
the,
unfuck your
profile
sister,
picture
bro.
on Facebook once, so it's probably his sister. Chris Tyson was also so horny that he couldn't even wait until marriage for sex, even after he and his wife got engaged. So he started cheating on his wife to instead get blasted up the ass by big black gay men.
A lot of speculation that's kind of been confirmed.
Why'd you link
about,
me to this?
Chris, like,
Start on
sleeping
Craig, hey.
with other men. At the time, I didn't really
going full circle.
believe that, but I definitely was getting some hints. I don't know I don't think they were married at the time. I don't know. Maybe they were engaged. We were all feeling really bad for her and knowing that that wasn't gonna last.
Labs doesn't want to be here.
He was talking about sleeping with other men as they were engaged before
Labs
they got
is like,
married.
get me out of here. I just want to I just want to watch Harry Potter for the 75th time.
I mean, he would make jokes about it to me, but there were other people who kind of came forward / showed us messages of.
She's probably watching Harry Potter in another window. This is just completely
So he
checked
was
out.
cheating on his fiancée before they got married. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still unclear if his ex-wife was aware of Chris Tyson's faggotry. As the final nail in the coffin, Chris Tyson had a private Discord server where he discussed sexual topics and shared pornography.
Buzzes your necky wacky. Robo eyes. Fight me. Love you guys. Chris. Nuzzles P. What the hell? What's this? Thanks, Dad, at Ryan. Notices bulb. Unzips dick.
This is their plan, people. These are demons.
Not only was there no age limit, but a lot of the moderators of the server were also minors. Some points of interest being Chris Tyson linked Shadman's website multiple times, had an actual minor create the NSFW segment of the Discord, and expressed dissatisfaction at the suggestion of making the segment 18+, as this would be too much work to ensure minors can't access the hardcore porn zone. Basically, all of this stems from Chris Tyson being a porn addict, hardcore gooner, and I believe that Chris Tyson transitioned due to being involved in the gooning community. Now, let me walk you through this. Here is a picture of Chris Tyson. This person here is Finster, who does gay porn. Finster was also
why does it
groomed
keep
to
going
being a
back to this
transgender by some rich
fucking
Indian
dude?
doctor or something. They may or may not have met up for sex. You know, it's a long story. We're not getting into it. This is Gene Hollywood, a transgender porn star who is in league with Goon Clown. Now, Goon Clown is a notorious pedophile and groomer who uses EPI, also known as early porn induction, to groom children from an early age. The final stage of this grooming is getting children to start injecting estrogen, which these dudes really get off on. Chris Tyson also mentions forced
the edits are pretty
feminization to
funny.
minors in his Discord server, which is exactly what Goon Clown does. Technically speaking, he also forcefully feminized his own son by buying perfectly fitting high heels. Was he jerking off to this picture of his son? I'm not going to explicitly say that it's true, but I'm going to act as if it is. Chris Tyson's Steam account is called Estrogen Dealer. He also has a private Twitter account called Estrogen Consumer. He's also publicly promoted DIY HRT to children
Did Mr.
before
Beast
through his
have his
Twitter account, so
boob
pretty much just
around?
normal trans stuff. He also has a second private Twitter account where he releases sexual images of
All
himself
you had to do was
select
not
members of his
have
fan base.
absolute
Now, I
freaks.
managed to infiltrate a gooning circle on reddit.com called r/Chris Tyson Love. It's now been deleted, but most of these servers' posts are people asking to go into Discord calls so they can masturbate together over pictures of Chris Tyson. Real character building stuff. Look at that. Beautiful stuff. Classy.
Yikes.
Elegant. Slipping.
You can just tell,
Slipping.
like, that's a man
Oh, wow,
ass.
now that is something. She's really pulled someone off here, because she's absolutely stunning woman on that one.
That's a clean burning hell, I tell you.
Oh, mama, she was turning heads on that beach for one reason or another. Maybe it was the smell. I mean, all I really have to say about this is the drugs they're wearing off. Chris Tyson,
That
the drugs
boy
they're wearing
ain't
off, and to be
right.
honest, I'm not even
That
sure they were
boy
ever on.
ain't right.
Looking at some of these pictures, if you buy one of
That
these shirts,
boy-
that is helping
that
me
boy
become president
ain't
of the United
right.
States of America. This great country. Buy your shirts, bungiebigstore.myshopify.com. Get your shirts right now. They're so cheap. You know, these shirts, they're so cheap that they don't even go on sale because they can't go on sale because they're always on sale, not in an official sense. But just because they're so cheap,
That would be a
it's
weird
like
shirt.
they're always on sale.
Just out
You
of
go to other
context.
people's
Like, what would someone assume if they see you wearing that shirt, not knowing anything else? Wild. They'd probably think you're kind of weird.
sense. But just because they're so cheap, it's
Thanks,
like
Trump.
they're always on sale. You go to other people's shirts, Ethan Klein, he will sell a shirt for $2,000. Unoriginal, lame design, this is disgusting, I hate you. Look at my shirts. So much better, just so good. Comparatively, so good. Buy the shirts. bungiebigstore.com. You can
It's a
buy
good
them
impression.
right now. As soon as all of this stuff came out, people started to ask the important questions. Did Mr. Beast know about this? Now let's go through all of Mr. Beast's responses. Firstly, he made a public statement which was almost certainly created by an AI algorithm, or alternatively, a Jewish legal team. In the statement, he claims that he's firing Chris Tyson based on things he's seen on the internet, and now he's hiring a private investigator to investigate these claims further. Now, personally speaking, I don't understand the point of hiring an investigator to investigate the actions of someone you've already fired from your company. Usually in these situations, they put the person on leave, they have the investigator come in to determine whether they should fire them or keep them on. This happened with Mizkif, for example, and it happened with the Yogscast a couple of years back when they had pedophiles in their midst. So the way I look at this is that Mr. Beast is hiring an investigator to essentially scrub his involvement from any of these events. This theory already holds some amount of water, because after all of the allegations about Chris Tyson came out, clips of Tyson are now being removed from videos. For example, a clip of Mr. Beast literally directly staring at the Shadman art has been cut, as well as a bunch of scenes of Chris in the I Survived 100 Days in Prison video. It didn't cut clips of the other pedophile he had working for him, though.
Delaware, I need everyone's phones. I want them all to FaceTime their family.
Gonna have to go back in there, mate. Make some more fucking deep cuts. Look who else appears in this video, by the way.
No! No!
This goes all the way to the fucking top. Mr. Beast
Why
also
do we
appeared on the
keep-
Hot Wetsuit podcast, in which he made sexual comments about
He's
a
the most
14-year-old bad
prolific
baby.
YouTuber.
And he did say that he enjoys the Catch Me Outside girl and thinks she's funny. So let's just
so that just shows what.
Let's be real. You want to put your dick in her?
This was later explained to be a joke. However, Tyson has made similar sexual comments about a 14-year-old in the Discord server, which would line up with Bad Baby. Now, if this was a joke, my theory is that it was an inside joke that was initially coming from the Discord server, which means Mr. Beast had more of an involvement with the Discord server than is led to believe. And we know for a fact that Mr. Beast was in the server because he left messages, which are proven to be from his account, where he talks about Chris Tyson's dick and balls, because he's very well acquainted, I suppose. Even more information from the Mr. Beast extended pedoverse. He also employed a convicted child rapist nicknamed Delaware, who appears in multiple videos and was also Jake the Viking's brother-in-law. Jimmy knew. No accountability. None. The silence is deafening. It just keeps getting worse. Here's the truth. Yes, Delaware, my brother who works for Mr. Beast, is in fact a registered child sex offender. You know, I would be fucking furious if I was Mr. Beast, the most popular YouTuber, billionaire, right? And my entire livelihood is being brought down by the biggest fucking retards. Like, every single person from his company coming out about him is mentally disabled. The man just wanted to give back to the Down syndrome community, and look where that got him. According to another former employee of Mr. Beast and Chris Tyson used to make pedophilic sexual comments about raping a manager's 5-year-old son, which went so far that the guy attacked someone at the company over it.
The first manager that ever worked there, his name was Dan, and he was actually a really good guy, but everyone was consistently making these jokes wildly inappropriate about his 5-year-old kid.
Ew.
And so, I know.
Like what?
And so, gonna go home and fuck insert name. Like,
what?
The craziest thing.
Who was saying that?
I know. Well, Ava, Jimmy, it was the thing. It was funny edgelord kids, which is crazy. We were filming the video playing Fortnite in the middle of the ocean, and one too many jokes got said, and bro flipped. And he took a cameraman and he threw him into the water.
Then Mr. Beast fired this guy and brought on a convicted child rapist to replace him. Mr. Beast's like, we're gonna have to let you go. We need more like-minded individuals in our team. I think it's fair to say that everyone who works with or around Mr. Beast is what I would describe as a sort of malignant psycho-terrorist. Mr. Beast just waits outside of prison.
Why can't you just get normal people?
Each team has a different mascot.
You're telling me he can't afford just normal people?
And all the others, they've got Chris Tyson as their guy, and then Jake, Lucky, and Nathan. They've got Delaware as their child rapist they're going to bat for. Is there a world where you can just disavow all the child rapists, or what? At this point, we should just put all of them in a sealed room and then just set it on fire. Shortly after the Chris Tyson allegations came out, a YouTuber called Dogpack404 releases a video in which he claims that he used to work for Mr. Beast and then proceeds to expose various dark secrets about the Mr. Beast organization. The most serious claims are that Mr. Beast runs various illegal lotteries and or promotes gambling to fetuses. Basically, when Mr. Beast sells merch, he will randomly include prizes in an order, except then he'll just sort of not include it. In a now deleted live stream, Mr. Beast keeps creating impromptu lotteries in which he'll set the rules to be whoever orders the next 5 minutes can win a PS5, but no games ever. And then 7 minutes on, he'll just pick someone at random from whoever ordered in the last 30 seconds. Meaning that for 5 minutes, he's had people buying merch for a prize they'll never win. On top of this, he ran a full-on gambling campaign for his chocolate, in which the prize was that whoever won got to appear in a Mr. Beast challenge video to win a larger prize of $1 million. But the real challenge was to avoid being molested by Chris Tyson, Delaware, Jimmy Savile, Count Dracula, Jeffrey Epstein, Jared from Subway. Mr. Beast is putting together the pedophile Avengers. 100 children versus 100 sex offenders. The sex offenders win if they can molest every one of these children in 50 days. But if one child remains unmolested, they lose and get sent back to prison. Imagine if Mr. Beast rigged the 100 children versus 100 sex offenders challenge. Oh man, he's given the pedos military grade rape equipment. You know the scene from Starter Planet of the Apes? That's what the Mr. Beast office is like, except they're riding into a school district on horseback to capture kids. Now, the second video features this guy called Jake Weddle, and I want everyone to have an open mind. Yes, he rocks a mullet. Yes, he rocks a mustache. But sometimes, looks can be deceiving.
Swear to God, I was in my room.
Are you kidding?
BB Drizzy.
Is this guy really the only non-pedophile? The guy who looks like one? Everyone who doesn't look like one is one, but the people who do look like one aren't. I'm so confused. I'm not going outside anymore.
Okay, the looks were not deceiving. Basically, this guy was placed into the Russian sleep experiment by Mr. Beast. Admittedly, he strikes me as the type of person who massively over-exaggerates everything, but we're not going to get into who tortured who, or who, might have deserved it.
100,000 some change, give or take. And now I spent all that money on doing stand-up.
How did you, were you paying them to laugh?
And they always cut me out of the videos. They always, and I was, editors have told me that it's because you have too much of a personality.
I think that when they told you that they kicked you because you had too much personality, that was sort of like a nice way of saying that you are insufferable.
I want to talk about this. This was given to me by a really good friend of mine, like a lifelong friend of mine. And you can see on the date that it says 2020 because that's when I was officially no longer an employee. And he got me that because I was supposed to start my own thing. I was supposed to go ahead and do my own stuff. So when he gave it to me, he said, this isn't a gift. This is not a gift. It's an investment. I said, then why is it wrapped like that, silly goose? You can look back at my old videos and it was up, and I haven't had it up in a while, but
it's not funny.
It's up now.
What is wrong with this guy? What the fuck is going on with you, man? this guy strikes me as someone who hurts his girlfriend. The rest of the video is him talking about his dad raping him or something. I don't know. Nobody cares. In the video after this, he complains about people thinking he's a fucking boring fuck, and then does a Mamamax call to action specifically for Vorsh to disavow Mr. Beast's pedophiles. It's certainly an interesting strategy. He then asks Ethan Klein to buy him lawyers. Look, I don't know much about this guy. I've only seen one video and an interview, and yet I know enough to safely say that I hate him, actually. I've hated Mr. Beast for years, because unlike other YouTubers, I understand what Mr. Beast is. Allow me to explain a simple concept for you. We live in what I've called the slop age. Essentially, there is a concept in which a form of media goes from niche interest to mainstream phenomenon, at which point all individuality and artistry is stripped away and it becomes a vehicle designed purely for profit. You've seen this happen with movies and video games and franchises like Marvel, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, anything Disney owns, really. Mr. Beast is the YouTube slop nexus point in which some type of shadow organization has figured out how to create
you didn't see that. You didn't notice.
Corporate brand, and they have succeeded with Mr. Beast. Even people like Pokemon and Ludwig, who are clearly corporate whores, still have some glimmer of personality or individuality, no matter how dull and stupid they may be. But Mr. Beast is actually like a full-on android. He's not even human. He's an animatronic with another man's skin stretched over the machinery. He could very well be entirely CGI. I bring this up a lot, but back in 2017, YouTubers were complaining about fake content taking over, and now they got nothing to say, even though the #1 YouTuber is a literal corporate android. Also, all his friends are pedophiles.
Thank you for the video. That was quite a wild ride. That's a lot to process. Holy cow. People have been bringing this up too. This is another good one.
There is beauty in simplicity. One could also argue there is beauty in complexity, but only if it's built out of simple things interacting in interesting ways. Complexity without purpose is ugly, but some people have no taste. Why do a lot of modern characters suck? Beauty is, of course, in the eye of the beholder, but people tend to find butterflies a lot prettier than rotting carcasses. Perhaps this could be entirely explained in mechanistic terms. Our personal experience, though, tends to tell us that there is something deeper to our aesthetic tendencies, but can we justify that? Or is it merely a feeling, entirely unverifiable? The focus of this video, however, is on the aforementioned people with no taste. Millennial characters. Yes, taste can vary, but some people make things that large swaths of humanity agree are shit. Making something ugly that only a small number of people can stomach does inherently limit your reach, but it also gives you a niche. Art isn't a democracy, that's not majority rule. You can make some obvious garbage, but so long as you enjoy it, you have at least one fan. But what if something has been made for an audience, small or large, then creative stewardship is placed in the hands of somebody who hates that audience, who makes something that the audience thinks is garbage. What if somebody is so narcissistic they ruin something for other people because they don't like that it isn't all about them? What if you suggest you have a certain goal, like realism or immersion, but then completely contradict those stated goals? You've failed by your own metrics. In that sense, I think you could call those things bad. What if you become so captured by ideology that you can't help but fail in your own stated goals? That's ugly. Think of the best character designs. I'm casting a pretty broad net, but usually the most iconic ones aren't overly complex. Where there is complexity, it is, like in nature, easy to grasp. They are distinct and readable, and all the details become apparent only after close inspection. They do, however, subconsciously add to the character as a whole. There are important areas for focus: silhouette, personality and how that's shown on the character, color palette, how they articulate, what they exaggerate. Basically, it tells a story using these elements. And also the writing, their motives. Both writing and art go into making good character design in a game or film or whatever. These are the principles that tend to create appealing characters, but they don't guarantee it. Somebody could understand them all and still create garbage. You can break the generally agreed upon principles and still create a good design, if done in ways that are mindful. And there is the source of why there is so much modern media that struggles to create appealing characters. It's ultimately due to classic human folly, ego, ideology, spite, resentment, lust. Different trends have brought these classic human errors to light in new ways. For example, we make characters that are too busy. Over-designed characters create visual clutter, making it hard to read what they're doing, and harder to tell what they're trying to convey. I'm no expert designer, but I've got eyes and basic discretion. A good design communicates a character's personality with minimal effort on behalf of the viewer, and we allow the character's actions and dialogue over the course of the piece of media to fill in the blanks. We don't just put it all out there, try to cram every quirk in. The Clone High reboot is one such example. Visual designs were criticized by some online. Compare the new characters with the old. It's pretty easy upon further inspection to tell the difference. The new characters were given unnecessary details that kind of fight against each other, where none stand out. Compare this to the charm and simplicity of the originals. The silhouettes, the color palette, there's too much happening. This, in my opinion, is because of the folly of ego. I think people try to cram too many of their own ideas into the characters they make. Editing is one of the hardest parts of any creative endeavor, because it means cutting things you are connected to. Things you poured your heart into and devoted a significant amount of time into just for it all to go into the rubbish bin. Over-design can be a symptom of creators attempting to be different or unique, which backfires when characters instead become less memorable and harder for audiences to relate to. I think the phrase main character syndrome has some relevance here. There is a fairly notable strain of artists, especially artists in this age, obsessed with identity, their own expression. To be fair, this is what they were taught. It's the orthodoxy, I think, in art circles, in art schools. Art is about sharing your inner world. The advice that people often get in writing schools is write what you know. This is a consequence of that belief. Now, it's not necessarily bad advice by any means, but dogma often presents problems when adhered to too rigidly, especially in art. There are other views. Art is an expression of timeless archetypes, or art is for moral instruction, or for political education. To be fair, for most people it's probably a mishmash of various learned beliefs rather than a rigid worldview. That is to say, it isn't a zero-sum game. Most artists will incorporate multiple of those views likely. Self-expression, archetypes, political education, all of that. I think the widely publicized examples of self-inserts in comics and slop culture certainly falls into this category as well. Also, it's partly ego. They see art as self-indulgence, self-expression. They might talk about representation, but it often means, why can't art represent me? Rather than, why can't art represent radically different viewpoints that some might claim. Others see art as a service, something they do for others. This is reflected in their views towards fans. Some people despise their fans because their creation is kind of taken out of their hands. It is no longer theirs, it belongs now to the public. Others are delighted by the idea of their stories and characters gaining a new life of their own in the public consciousness, even if it means they cede control. I have noted that people who built their own thing from the ground up tend to be more appreciative of fans, even if they don't always see eye to eye. This is as opposed to people who take over a property with an existing fan base who they see as a hindrance to their own vision. It's often said art requires empathy. You need to be empathetic to be a good artist, and I think that is so demonstrably untrue. Just look at the numerous examples of famous artists in any medium who are absolute pricks. If anything, great artists are more likely to be arseholes because of their singular obsession.
What was that?
The numerous examples of famous artists.
How fathers damage sons. In the 1960s, many doctors still recommended that children like Daniel be institutionalized, but Miller went to an unusual extreme. He decided to not only to leave Daniel as a ward of the state, he also decided to paint his son out of his life completely. Few of Miller's close friends. What is this a reference to?
In any medium who are...
Is Frank Miller? Give some credence to later hypothesis whether the cause of the killing would have a profound effect on the rest of Caravaggio's life. I don't know what any of this means.
Absolute pricks. If anything, great artists are more likely to be arseholes because of their singular obsession with their given art form. There are countless stories of extremely dedicated artists outright bullying their underlings for not keeping up with their pursuit of perfection. There's a kind of loosely defined clique that dominates a lot of modern slop culture. Trends come and go, and creators of the past inspire creators of today. If the creator of the past sees a lot of creators of today following their lead, they may well have a tendency to indulge in it. So it was for millennial writing. It's not that everyone who wrote like that is a millennial, rather that the style is so closely linked to what the millennial generation likes, how millennials talk, the millennial cultural customs, and the millennial level of cringe. It's not just about millennials themselves, but the people and things popular with millennials. This specific culture is mostly concentrated on places like Tumblr. There are deeper cores to it, like DeviantArt,
that's
Fur Affinity.
That's a Pippa quote.
Like Tumblr.
But Pippa, like, she's... God. She's not fucking that cringe.
There are deeper...
That was like stolen from her. I don't know who had that first.
Cores to it, like DeviantArt, Wattpad, Fur Affinity communities, whatever, which, while more hidden and less popular, had an indelible mark on this clique and the culture. Not that later generations don't use those sites, but they came into prominence among the millennial generation. Like a kind of uncool kids club. Theater kid occupied games industry, as this one commenter stated. They have an unhealthy relationship to fictional characters. Just look at ideas like comfort characters and shipping. The most public expression of this can be seen on Twitter, in Twitter artist communities, especially post the Tumblr exodus. It's a tragedy that we have to share the same internet, where I see people post these Tumblr tumbles, acting like they're so cool and so funny, and they're just coal. You can see the visual sensibilities that originated from these communities manifest in media. Characters that feel more like the writers appealing to their own clique than a relatable or compelling character to anybody outside of it. These characters often struggle to resonate with a broader audience because their creation is more about the writer's self-expression than telling a universal story. Not that every story must be universally applicable, but I think self-obsession, being too myopic, it clearly isn't helpful. The thing is, people who do like these styles, you know, the style of writing, the style of visual character design, they don't just like them. They often have an open disdain for other styles. They'll say something is good or bad, typically either something anime or dude bro related, while also often implying that's morally wrong. It's problematic. Ultimately, when you see someone defend modern art like this, the other kind of modern art, while also criticizing other things like generic anime or Stellar Blade or sexy women in classic video games, there's something Nietzschean taking place.
Both sides are equally bad here. What do you mean?
Women in classic video games.
Whatever.
There's something Nietzschean taking place. A lot of these Tumblr DeviantArt styles were widely mocked by the broader internet. They were considered essentially the theater kids of the internet. So naturally they create their own values, determining what constitutes good or bad on their terms, in reaction to the dominant culture, the previous master morality. The types of popular characters of the past are actually bad. All the while, the things that we were made fun of for liking are actually good. And I think these discussions inevitably veer into talks of...
Oh man, this video feels way longer. It feels like I've been watching this for way longer than 10 minutes. Anyways, Yellow Flash on Dustborn.
Well, that didn't take very long. I was talking about this in a video the other day about how we're going to see Concord fall below 100 players. Well, it's already happened. In fact, the 24-hour peak was below 200. This game is quickly dying. It's performing at Suicide Squad levels. No, wait, excuse me. That game has 83 players in it, so it's actually doing a little bit better than Kill the Justice League. My bad. Wow, this game has fallen too. Wow, what a disastrous year for DEI gaming. You would think that they might reevaluate what they're doing, but I'm not so sure about that with this new Dustborn.
Yeah, the theater kid cliche. I mean, I wasn't a theater kid in school, but I could identify them. Very, very over the top, very flamboyant, acting like they constantly had a camera on them at all times. Just like sort of the class clowns. And really hard to tolerate.
Information that we're going to hit in a second. But yeah, this is really bad. So I would think by the end of the month, this game will probably be completely dead. Maybe 20 people sitting in the game, and that'll just be people with their computers on in a lobby, probably at the developer's studio, so that it still looks like there's somebody that enjoys this game. What an L for Sony. And Sony's had a good year, but this is a big blemish, a big one. And reports are coming in saying that this game made less than $1 million on Steam. Keep in mind, this game probably cost like $200 million to make. I'm just kind of throwing that number out there because it's not cheap to make a game like this, especially if it's true that it took them 8 years to make it. It's probably more. But I'm trying to be fair and generous with the number just to be safe. I think it's a fair estimate that it cost $200 million to make this game. And they only made about $1 million on Steam. I'd love to know how much they made on PlayStation. I'd love to know that number. They'll never tell us. But I bet you it's probably around the same figure. I bet you there's not that many people playing it on PlayStation either. They're all playing Wukong, because don't forget, that game came out on PlayStation too. That's what they're all playing. Or they're already playing Overwatch. They already had something that they could play. Bunch of free-to-play hero shooters. Marvel Rivals comes out next month. That's free-to-play too. They'll be playing that, not this. Oh, what a disaster. You love to see it, though. DEI needs to go away. But I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon, considering all of the free funding that they get for making these kinds of games. So this was interesting. We were all laughing at Norway and the EU for funding Dustborn and giving them a bunch of tax money. Turns out the United States of America gave them money too. $275,000 to be exact. Paying too much in gas? Groceries a little too much? Don't worry. Your money's going to good causes. It's going to fund games like Dustborn. This is literally government propaganda, by the way. That's what this game is. So your tax dollars funded a game that didn't even sell so that we could get out literal government propaganda, as John A. Douglas puts here in his tweet, because he's right. The game is literal government propaganda. How many people are playing this game, by the way, on Steam? 23. 23 people playing this game right now on Steam. What are the conditions for this game? Well, we have some of them. In fact, thanks to Niche Gamer in this link right here, we have the entire proposal. A U.S. embassy Public Affairs section announces an open competition for organizations to submit applications to, 1, produce an English and Dutch language pilot, produce a French version, produce an additional translation of a European language, Asian language, or African language, host the game on their own websites, develop and implement data collection and analysis, promote the games to the target audience. They also have found that digital games have proven to be an effective tool in building cognitive resistance to disinformation across diverse environments and cultural contexts.
What the fuck is
U.S. Embassy
disinformation?
in the Hague.
It's not
is
misinformation,
accepting
it's
proposals for the
disinformation. So what,
development
it
of a
like
digital
takes
game that
information away
incorporates
from you?
active inoculation theory along with other digital media literacy education methods in a fun, interactive experience targeting global internet users ages 15 and up. Primary gameplay should simulate the experience of engaging.
Program goal: degrade. Oh, I got a cough. I'm baffled. Degrade malign actors' ability to diffuse disinformation among target audiences. That is, I can't like do the flips and rolls it takes to decipher those mental gymnastics. Degrade malign actors' ability to diffuse disinformation. So we want to infuse information, but we want to degrade actors' ability to infuse information. What's with all the double negatives?
Engaging in common disinformation and propaganda activities while educating the user on digital literacy applicable in the real world. Successful proposals will incorporate active inoculation theory that addresses current disinformation and propaganda tactics. The delivered project should be modular.
Well, it's like it's written purposefully in a way to just like to wear you down. It's like, okay, just like tell us what you really want, actually. And it's like, well, we want to diffuse disinformation and degrade malign actors' ability.
Modular, scalable, and
it's like if you have to hide your intentions behind such language, then it's hard to really not suspect you of malicious intent.
Expandable so that later iterations
Just be
could address
clear.
additional problem sets.
Remember when video games, like, here's our goal for a video game. Have the person who plays the video game have fun. Make it fun for the person playing the game. No, instead we have to diffuse disinformation by malign actors.
Such as violent extremism and health misinformation. The game will be piloted simultaneously with players in the United Kingdom and the Netherlands, and lessons learned from these pilots will inform the final version of the game intended ultimately for global audiences. The next translation will be produced for French speakers in Europe and Africa, followed by one more translation into the European, Asian, or African language to be determined later. There's a lot here. I'm not going to go over all of this, but this is actually just a piece of the bullshit that your tax money goes out there to. You could look this up, by the way. I'm pretty sure you can look up and see what your money is going to.
Primary gameplay should simulate the experience of engaging in common disinformation and propaganda activities while educating the user on digital literacy applicable in the real world. So we want to simulate encountering propaganda. But you're like trying to galvanize people against being propagandized while simulating being propagandized.
In a lot of these grants, there's so much wasted taxpayer money that goes into grants. Like, this really is nothing compared to some.
If you're in a boardroom and you started asking these questions, they'd just be like, get out. Obviously, you're not ideologically in line with the rest of us. You don't belong here. Like, they wouldn't even try to address your concerns.
With the nonsense that.
That's why corporate environments are just cancerous.
Our tax money pays for. But it's got to piss you off knowing that your tax money paid for this game. Nobody's playing it. literally wasted money so that they can make a propaganda game. What a joke. And the game is evil, by the way. I watched some of Savvy's stream yesterday. Madam Savvy has been streaming this game on YouTube. And I got to tell you, this is the most unlikable group of characters I've ever seen. And she's supposed to be the one you relate with and is a hero. And she's a jerk. She bullies people. She's mean to people for no reason. Literally spreads the woke mind virus. It's insane. It's hilarious that this game failed. But it's bullshit that tax money was spent on it. So I would encourage everybody to look into things that your taxes.
This is going to be like free to play at some point, and I'm actually kind of interested in playing it just to see how bad it is.
Money goes to, because you'd be quite surprised how much nonsense your tax dollars pay for. It's wild. But yeah, this is one of them. A game where your superpower is bully. We've learned to bully people. Bully gives us the power to force people to do something they may not want to do or to make them feel bad about themselves in fights. This could be highly effective.
And this is the
targeted
good
enemies.
guy.
This game is actually evil, she says at the bottom of this post. Yeah, it's true. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Yeah, it's gonna be free to play at some point because they want to spread the woke mind virus, but I don't think they anticipate people playing it ironically and just laughing at the ridiculousness. There should be laws that allows taxpayers to decide where their money goes. Well, they would all decide not to. They would just decide that you don't get to spend my tax money, and that's where it would go, and then you wouldn't have a national budget. Concord is dying so fast that the urinalists have been on damage control every day since launch. As of now, 24 people are playing Dustborn. $250,000 well spent. Well, this has been a stream for sure. Give a quick glance at my sub box. See if there's anything I don't want to miss. We've got Lord Diaz playing Stepmania. I guess he does that every day. That's his daily workout routine. That's how you get in wrestling shape. Phil takes credit for getting duty demonetized. These people are going wild. They're commenting. Mr. No Views, what the hell are you playing? This is what I get being subbed to Lord Diaz. I get so many shorts like this. Just some dude's feet. DSP butchers more words. Tesla. Amanda Stenberg reveals Hollywood cope and cold mentality while talking the Acolyte cancellation. DSP talks about his greatest day ever, pulling Hogan's and talking to Keem. My God. What a weird moment. DSP plays and blows $255 on WWE Champions. That apparently happened last night. We're just blowing hundreds of dollars on WWE Champions just live on stream. I guess he feels pretty emboldened. He just feels like nobody can go after him for bankruptcy fraud. Because they haven't yet, and they never will, I guess. I guess they just gave up on applying the law equally. Kind of a black pill there. So, let's try to ignore it, I guess. What do you got, Rev? Help me out.
For those just tuning in, someone said listening to me on 0.5 speed makes me sound drunk and tired. Let's hear it, guys. I'm muted. That's embarrassing. Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? We're here. So
this is 0.5 of a 0.5.
Of days, a lot of people have been talking about black Black Myth Wukong, and I can report here that the game has officially sold over 10 million copies across all platforms. Is already heading towards the 15 million This
mark.
isn't me drunk. This is me on like bath salts, dude. This is horrible.
That game.
Someone help
There have
Rev.
been multiple bombs.
Rev is going through some
games
stuff.
that were released
He needs-
over the past couple of days.
He
as
needs to go to a
well.
treatment center, dude.
Okay. I was hoping for some news. Twitter attacks Brazilian artists. This is...
Hey, what's up, guys?
I need to use Twitter less, because I've been seeing a lot of Brazilian Miku.
So I'm always looking for an excuse to talk about...
A lot of regional Mikus, like...
Hatsune Miku, and today I have just that, because one of the biggest art trends right now involves this...
One of the funniest was Canadian Miku, which was this, like, South Park Canadian style.
Character, and it all began with this post right here. This is the ground zero of a very popular trend. It is simply captioned Brazilian Miku. And you can see this post went absolutely crazy. This went viral. It has over 400,000 likes and over 200 million views. That is crazy. But this art right here in this post would inspire a lot of variants and memes, and also a lot of controversy that we'll get into in just a second. So let's see some examples from some international renditions of this character. You can see Irish Miku right here. You can see Chinese Miku. You can also see Honduran Miku, and you know, born too late to explore the world, born too early to explore the stars, but born just in time for culture detail like this. Well done. Also, Finnish Miku here. We have Siberian Doomer Miku. We're getting very specific now. Here is Danish Miku. I'm not European enough to understand what's going on here, but I'm sure it's very funny. And here's one last example of the international ones. Here's French Miku. But let's go back to the Brazilian Miku.
baguettes.
Some people making offshoots of that and some memes like this. However, this edgy joke wasn't something people were mad at. What inspired the most controversy was this post right here. People would go absolutely crazy over this post. This would make people frothing at the mouth angry. So why? It's simply captioned Brazilian Miku. You can see this version is a paler skinned, goth looking version of Miku. And that makes sense because the artist makes goth girls, okay? And also you might notice in their bio, they are Brazilian. So here's the scenario. We have a Brazilian artist making a Brazilian character. What could possibly go wrong? All right, this is Twitter and people are incredibly ignorant. So people like to say, always that one guy, damn, we can't have anything. And this is basically what these people are referring to. The art is good, but why is she white? Why are you white? Why is she so pale? Whose white baby is this? Because it's not Brazilian Miku. Imagine the disrespect. 4,500 likes on the original post, basically telling this Brazilian artist that their own character is not Brazilian. Crazy. Here's more saying, has she never gone outside? Or this person saying, damn, what happened to her complexion, brah? Okay, let me help out these people because they seem to be a bit slow. This is the original artwork that inspired this trend. You don't need a magnifying glass to notice that she has tan lines because her skin is naturally more fair. And this is not something that's too surprising. I've had to see a lot of people, including Brazilians, come out to Twitter and say, hey, listen, guys,
This is how the sun
you don't
works.
understand how Brazilians work. Because a lot of Brazilians not only have fair skin, a good portion identify as white. So there are going to be fair-skinned Brazilians.
I don't know. I guess we have to explain to Twitter how the sun affects people's skin because they don't go outside.
And also Brazilians who get a tan. And that's what's going on here. It is incredible. You have to explain this to people on Twitter. And they're the ones saying this artwork is offensive. Meanwhile, they're basically claiming that if you're south of a certain parallel on the globe, you automatically have to have dark skin, which is the actually offensive thing. But they're the ones who think they're in the right. And also we have this right here saying, if Hoyoverse made Brazilian Miku, how original. How's that boycott going, by the way? Here's another one saying, are you ever just able to tell by the way people draw? 22,000 likes. I literally have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know how anybody knows what you're talking about. But they would go on in the replies to say this. What? Brace yourselves. Haters in my comments defending this tweaker by saying they're goth and stuff. Well, I don't know if you found out yet, goth people can be people of color without their whole body losing blood circulation, and that most deaf is not goth fashion. That's it. I'm muting this for real now. Search POC goth for a surprise. So basically, a Brazilian artist who makes goth characters makes a Brazilian goth character, and this person gets mad about it, and then people make fun of them for being mad about it, and then they respond by saying, well, look up people of color in goth. That'll show you. It's like, okay. Literally nobody's claiming otherwise. Like, yes, there are persons of color who are goth.
Paimon Obeyer.
All right. The original artist never said that, so I don't know why you're tweaking out over this, but it's just a very bizarre situation where I think a lot of people are trying to get mad about this when in reality, the country in the center of this, Brazil, there are no Brazilians mad about this. I couldn't see any Brazilians actually mad about this artwork, and yet you have so many people on Twitter trying to speak on their behalf. Very weird stuff, but very predictable. And while we're talking about controversy involving Hatsune Miku arts, when did Twitter decide collectively that sexualizing Hatsune Miku is totally fine and cool and no one has a problem with it? Which, by the way, there is no problem with it because it's a fictional character. Do whatever you want. Who cares? But for years, aunties have been canceling people over sexualizing this exact character. In fact, 8 months ago, I made a video about this situation where Ninja Muffin was getting canceled by this thread that got hundreds of thousands of views, which was literally accusing them of being a predator and having CP in their likes, and that CP in question turned out to be Hatsune Miku's feet. That's what was nearly ruining this guy's life with these allegations that came out. And now all of a sudden with this recent trend, there's all this sexualized art, and people just don't seem to have an issue with it. And I guarantee some of the people who have canceled others over Miku art are now joining in and liking art that has to do with this whole trend that is sexualizing the character. Again, there's nothing wrong with this. It's a fictional character. Who cares? But the standards on Twitter, and especially among aunties, is very hypocritical when it comes to this stuff. But anyways, let's go back to the original thread here. There's some other variations I want to look at, and of course, those are the American ones. So let's start with this one right here, Florida X Hatsune Miku. So this is very good art. You might be thinking to yourself, wow, she has some real superpowers here to be able to basically capture this alligator, which I reply by saying, no superhuman.
We had to, growing up in Florida, we had to, be careful of alligators, showing up in the school grounds. So this is very fitting.
Skills, just your average Floridian can do that.
But
also there's some other cool art here with the New Orleans, Louisiana Miku right here. Pretty cool art. There's also this one. This is one of my favorites right here. This is a biblically accurate Texas Miku, okay? You can see she has the...
Yeah. Well, this is what Texas is like after moving here. Today's forecast 105 all day. I'm actually it's gonna be good today, I guess. High of 90. It's a pretty good day today, but the Buc-ee's thing, Buc-ee's shit is everywhere.
Cowboy hat, she looks like she's driving a truck, she's stuck in traffic, it's 105 degrees out, but most importantly, very, very fine detail that a lot of people overlook. Buc-ee's, right here. Buc-ee's. A couple years ago, I
have never seen billboard saturation to the extent of this. You're driving down the highway, and literally, every half mile, there's a Buc-ee's billboard. I don't know what they're doing. They're just they just want to own every single billboard. Total billboard saturation. And a lot of the phrases on the billboards don't even make sense. It's just the Buc-ee's logo and just some random copy pasta. I don't even know what it means.
My first trek to the temple of Buc-ee's, and I'll never forget that day.
It's literally just a gas station. It's like a gas station grocery store, basically.
Get that brisket. It was amazing. It was life-changing. It changed my
Really? Brisket, huh?
entire trajectory of my...
Who would never guess this? Florida? Yeah, I grew up in Florida till I was 21, moved to California to go to college, and recently moved to Texas.
My life right on the spot. Now I know that pretty much every single international viewer watching this has no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm probably sure that 75% of Americans don't even know what I'm talking about with this whole tangent here, but just know Buc-ee's is supreme, okay? So here's the next one, North Carolina Hatsune Miku Charlotte version, and I will trust that this is a rendition of your average Miku from North Carolina, but I noticed the cheer wine, very delicious, but also the Bojangles, which we'll also see in this variation with the South Carolina Miku. And you can see this quote here.
You know what's funny? The college I went to in California was so bad that I'm now getting checks in the mail compensating me for the time that I spent. That's quite an accomplishment. Who can say that their college is giving them money? Everyone is like drowning in student loan debt that they can't pay off. My college was so bad, they're giving me money.
Hey, Bo, y'all want to vape in the Walmart parking lot?
It's pretty awesome.
I'm going to trust again that the artist, good art by the way,
I still have the knowledge in my head
rendition
of
what is the average South Carolina woman. But there's something about this character trope that is it's terrifying me. This woman terrifies me for some reason. I don't know why. But also there is a lot of very far-reaching art here. We're going like prehistoric here. This artist saying Europe 47 million years BC Darwinius Masawe Miku. My God, I know I'd mispronounce some things there, but that's a very interesting take on here, and they would make even more with some bacteria from 3.5 billion years ago. You can see we're going on a primordial level here. It's pretty impressive what people are coming up with for this trend. And as always, I like a good art trend. I think this one is excellent. It's produced a lot of good art and also good memes.
Who would get mad about
it? It reminds me of other popular art trends like the Bowsette and Boozette from a couple years ago. And I know a lot of people go, oh, Rev, come on. That was so Reddit, dude. And maybe it was a little corny at times, but like still, it produced a lot of good art and memes, and it was just fun. And honestly, it's way better than current trends we have nowadays. Like, you know, do we want another Skibidi Ohio Rizzler trend?
Bring that up.
Like, no, I'd rather have this Miku trend, produce really good stuff. And anytime there's a good art trend, I like to share with you guys so you can check it out for yourself. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
I do like me some Miku. There's some really hardcore metal Miku. I might even, like, if I scroll long enough outside of my sub box, some of it'll probably pop up. But yeah, it's good stuff. Bunch of random anime shit. Wokest game ever gets worse. Let's check this out.
Hey,
speaking on the topic of Dustborn.
So today we're going to be once again talking about Dustborn. Now, over the past couple of days since its release, watching the failure of this game is like watching a slow-moving car crash. It is really brutal to watch. For a game that's been labeled the wokest game ever, it really deserves that title because some of the main features of this game...
I'm sure you've seen this. Alyssa Mercante is threatening Kiwi Farms because of a thread that was in the Prospering Grounds, which isn't even... Like, Prospering Grounds is like where threads go before they're, like, you know, put out to the public. So Alyssa was so mad about that thread that she threatened to sue, and so Kiwi Farms responded by taking the thread out of Prospering Grounds and putting it into the main page. It's pretty funny. But she has some weird posts. She's making, like, a list of all the YouTube videos that have ever talked about her, and they're just links. So I don't know which ones they're referring to. You'd have to like manually type in every URL to see which video they are, but she just has a list of just links. It's like this lady is not right in the head.
Include using the power of words and literally weaponizing words against your enemies, and also using the trigger function to respond to microaggressions of your enemies. It makes really no surprise that this game has bombed to levels that are pretty impressive, actually. An all-time peak of 76 players, despite being propped up and promoted by games journalists all across the board. And in fact, only a few hours before recording this video, there was a time where only 12 players were active on Dustborn. They couldn't even get a baker's dozen. That's how bad things are. Now, in the last couple of days since the last video on Dustborn, there have been more screen caps coming out from this game from people who have really sacrificed their sanity to go out there and try out this game just for the laughs, and the new screen caps are absolutely...
Yeah, I did see, like, DSP is so, he's so excited to respond to people on Twitter. He doesn't even look at the names of the people that he's responding to.
Absolutely hilarious. I have to share it with you.
I guess I can't show it.
So here's some of the more in-game abilities. You can see this.
But yeah, if you see some of the people he's responding to, he's so far up his own ass. He's so blind. You can't even read the names of the people he's retweeting and responding to. It's like, dude, hold on.
New cancel function.
I can't put that on the leaderboard.
Saying, we've learned how to cancel someone. Cancel will allow us to isolate people from their friends and compatriots in battle. This could be a useful tool against enemies. You know, just so you're aware, a lot of the people who are behind the studio and supporting the studio in this game, they will tell you cancel culture isn't real, and yet they have it as an ability in one of their games that makes it sound like it's some sort of a superhuman ability. So they love cancel culture, they love canceling people, and this is just proof of that. But there was also a couple of other ones that came out that are just as ridiculous. How about the bully function? We've learned to bully people. Bully gives us the power to force people to do something they may not want to do or to make them feel bad about themselves. In fights, this could be highly effective on targeted enemies. And how about the normalize feature? What? We've learned how to normalize negative emotions. Normalize gives us the ability to make people think certain behaviors or feelings are normal, but I'm not sure it will do much for us.
If you have to normalize it, it's not
they're just
normal.
going mask off with these things. This is their basically their armory of tools that they use in their everyday.
What's this Pippa tweet? Oddly, nobody responded or really put any traction to the emotes that I converted over. I bought Dustborn, made a thumbnail, and then decided it was too much to stomach. Coward, time to use my ultimate skill. Cancel. This image is why I bought it. I wanted to see if it's actually real, but God, the game just looks so bad. I paid for this trash with my taxes. Consider the following. This is a chud game for chuds. It says so on the Dustborn wiki. This is real. Check for yourself. What the fuck? No. This can't be real. You're just trolling. Nova Scotia is a location within the game's world and is the destination of Pax's journey. The objective of the game is to transport an important package from Pacifica to Nova Scotia. Unbeknownst to Pax, however, Nova Scotia was captured and is being used by the great scientist Yakub, the demon demiurge, the creator of the White Devil race, as a base of operation in his efforts to create an even wider, less empathetic, even more proficient in trickology race to destroy your... Okay. That's enough of that. Thank you, Pippa. Okay. I wonder if people are reacting to this. Apparently people like this, because, stupid Kinocopter is like, you guys are seething, and I'm just like, you're an idiot.
Life on social media to try to cancel and attack people over a bunch of virtue signaling and nonsense. However, that stuff might be a bit goofy, but this is a much more serious claim, as Vera Dark here shares. She tags a bunch of games journalist outlets saying, you guys have been covering Dustborn. When are the articles releasing about Red Thread Games copying and pasting the GTA Online apartments? So here's some evidence from people that are trying to claim that the Dustborn in-game interiors of these apartments, the layout is the exact same as GTA Online. And honestly, looking at it, it seems pretty convincing. A lot of people think this is a direct ripoff, which is even worse when you think about the fact that this game is funded in part by the government. So they've received over 150,000 euros to make this game. And they're still cutting corners. And apparently, and a lot of people believe, are stealing assets. Despite getting government funding, they're still cutting corners. It's crazy. However, this claim was enough to get some of the employees at Red Thread Games out. So here we have Thea Berg, the game designer at Red Thread Games. You can read the rest of her bio here. It's amazing. She's in her villain era, gay agenda connoisseur, by Dustborn. So you can see her last tweet before she would eventually go private, quote retweeting Mark Kern, who shared that government funding right there, and they say, Grum's preferred method of finding funding is e-begging, by the way. So this is a pretty crazy thing, right? So on the one hand, they're trying to shame Mark Kern for seeking out crowdfunding for his own projects, you know, willing volunteers who are giving over money for the game in its production, and trying to say that her way is better, which is taking money from taxpayers. Like, that money could have gone to, I don't know, schools, helping people out, but no, it went to your game that only a dozen people are playing right now, and it's basically the laughingstock. Somehow they think that's better. And also keep in mind, they're getting funded by the government. This game, the entire plot, is supposed to be the point of the perspective of a rebellion, a group of punks who are fighting back against the government, and yet here's the creators accepting handouts from the government to produce this game. On top of that, there's some selfies going around of this individual, and right here you can see that she has the Apple logo tattooed to her face, which is just beautiful irony here. So like, she's trying to make this game about being a punk and being anti-establishment, but then you have one of the most profitable companies in the world tattooed to your face. It's just crazy. But of course, just like,
who looks at that and it's not like that's an immediate red flag? Who looks at that and is like, this is someone I can get along with? No, you see that and you're like, okay, I know exactly what your ideology is, and it is just not my kind of jam. This is like a woman who accuses people of rape as a hobby.
In the world tattooed to your face. It's just crazy. But of course, just like any other scenario where someone like her enters the discourse voluntarily, now people are going to look through her account and see other things she has said. And just like all these other games journalists and other game developers who are woke, they always have skeletons in their closets when it comes to their former tweets. So here's a couple of them, beginning with this. Wow, do not read the comments on the Goodbye Volcano High trailer on YouTube, man. Sometime in the future, gamers might realize that everything isn't made to cater specifically to you, and that's okay. Personally, can't wait to fulfill my dream of being a gay dinosaur.
Cool.
So this is interesting. This is another
Good for
person
you.
saying, as a game designer, I know better than you in terms of what you want. I know what you want more than you do. And yeah, as it turns out, through their own game, apparently they don't know what gamers want. They looked for the modern audience, which is non-existent. They didn't show up, and that's why this game peaked out at about 70 players on release. So here's another one also saying 50% of gamers are women, by the way, and this will be a common theme for these next ones, saying gamers
not true.
are women.
You have to look at the genre, and even then, that's like a rounding error and a big stretch. If you want to talk about the kinds of games that women play, there are mobile games, and not quite. Yeah, this is crazy. Yo, Maximilian, it's been like a decade, and the MVC collection comes out in 2 weeks. You down to run some sets? People say they want to see it, and I'm down. Sorry for the public call out, but your DMs are closed, and I don't know another way to get your attention. But you're making this public. So he's like, he really thinks he's got like the control of a fucking mob, man. It's so crazy. Like, reply to one of his tweets if he didn't want it to be that so public. But no, he just goes right out there. Yeah, why not send an email? You're not very professional. I'm pretty sure if I go to Maximilian Dude's channel, what the fuck is that? Maximilian Dude. Go to his channel. Yeah, he's got the hate army. I go to
wait for I can survive this. Isn't
let's see. View email address. You have to do a CAPTCHA so it knows they're not fake. Email address, submit. There it is. maxdudeteam@unitedtalent.com. That's his email address, you fucking idiot. Wow, that was so hard to find. But no, you want to make it a social media public spectacle. Ugh. This guy is really feeling himself. At this point, I just can't wait for the meltdown to happen. Like, until now and the meltdown happening is probably like the worst time to be an observer.
By the way, and this will be a common theme for these next ones, saying men as a concept was cooked. Yes, half of the world's population is cooked in terms of their own existence. That's a fair thing to say. And the next one says, men are the weakest link, truly. Here's another one saying, I will put knitting men and sexy non-binary peeps in your video game, and I will never stop. Be afraid. I come not in peace. Well, apparently they were pretty afraid because after that, they would go private. It's funny the amount of bravado these people have when they come out and try to lash out, but the second they get even an ounce of criticism, they immediately go into hiding. So many people in the games industry, whether it's journalists or developers, are private right now because they cannot face any criticism except or in spite of being so outspoken about their own games and their own agenda that they're trying to insert into those games. But I want to read this comment from Savvy about this game developer or this game designer. And I think this really is just the mic drop. So if you don't know, Savvy's been doing some playthroughs of Dustborn, doing really God's work for our entertainment, suffering through all of that. But they made this comment about the GTA assets and also the comments made by this game designer. So I'm just going to read this. I didn't think the hashtag Dustborn giggles could get any more silly. Here is one of the designers quote tweeting someone calling them out for copying the GTA apartment interior to a near exact T. This is incredible. During gameplay, I would make quips about things being stolen and no original thought put into anything, but I didn't think it would be this shameless. The profile stating villain era sort of explains everything though. Given the game presents villains as good guys, you can also briefly see from their feed that they look down upon crowdfunding and would much rather use taxpayer dollars that could have gone to, say, a school, a rent assist program, or something to benefit society. The player count really does make sense, though.
No, this is what socialism was made
really
for.
Interested, not even the target
Funding video
audience.
games.
Game design is
Played
part
by
of telling a
privileged
story.
people.
I love looking at environments and seeing what choices people make, but when you straight up rip things and do not care about or do not change any of the design, it tells me you are lazy and do not care about your product. This was apparent from the story, but the lazy mindset is mirrored everywhere in this game/visual novel. It is a shame they took advantage of government programs, but these type always aim to do that because no one else will fund them. Oh well, lessons learned. Yeah, that's pretty brutal, but where did she lie? The fact that they're using government funding and then mocking people for using crowdfunding efforts for their own projects is crazy. It's completely tone deaf, and it's true. Government funding is the best avenue for a lot of these people because nowadays people are starting to realize these woke games are failures and they don't want to invest, but governments see some kind of special interest in whatever woke agenda they have, so they're giving them money. And hopefully one day that well dries up too, and people should be shamed for using tax dollars for disasters like Dustborn. Now, much like Dustborn, Concord has been an absolute...
Let's take a moment to look at this game, actually. Let's see. Oh. Isn't that weird? Come on, show up in my history. There it is.
Out at these folks to block them.
This is a 2024 game.
Yo, leave my friends alone. You're just in time.
Look at that.
Let's show these guys what we can do.
Great voice acting.
We've been in some scraps, Cyan.
What the fuck? We've been?
Let's show these guys what we can do. We've been in some...
Bro, what the fuck? Like, I've heard AI voices done better.
Scraps, Cyan me. We've learned to combine our talents. See, we shout at these folks to block them.
Shout.
You know what? It's easier to explain if we just do it.
Stand down.
You stand down.
No one needs to get hurt.
You're right. So get the stand still.
Oh my god. Her power is that she's fat and she's able to make an earthquake by jumping up in the air. So this is why this is just like, there's a lot of ironic humor to be gained from this. I'm sure it's not what they intended, but like, geez, her power is that she's fat.
That is not a time. It's my time. I'm very... Afternoon, boys. You ready for this?
I think so. I mean, we're not boys. We're professionals. We're always ready.
Big words from a small boy.
My wife's fat.
Sai. What? Hold the bus up. But... Sai, I need you to do this for me. okay?
Fuck. This isn't working.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do it.
What the hell?
Shit, that's heavy. Careful.
The network's down.
That explains why the jack's not working.
Luna, where's the wireless router?
I have no idea.
I'll find it.
Look for a big box with
I
blinking
know what
lights.
a router looks like. It's your lucky day, Rust Bucket. Did you break the antenna? No wonder the wireless is down. I think we need to adjust this to get a signal again.
Yeah, the vitiligo shit is so overemphasized. It's really weird. Like, the proportion of people with vitiligo, I don't know what it is. It's some weird obsession with, like, black people having lighter skin. I don't know. I can't really get into it. Like, it's so rare compared to how much they obsess over it.
Okay.
Law to divulge any and all information pertaining to your child.
That's amazing.
How? Electromagnetic fields. With that glove on, you can control the bat. Throw it, and it comes back.
Sis, you're a genius.
Have the right to speak.
And I know just how to take this for a spin.
An attorney may be assigned.
What is she doing?
And I know.
Like, she's taking her hand and she's like running her hand up the bat, but it's like she's ignoring
And it comes back.
the part of the
Sis,
bat where, like,
you're a genius.
there are studs on it.
And I
Like, didn't you realize when you were animating this that you can't do that?
and I know just how to take this for a spin.
An attorney may be assigned to you by justice during your trial. Your sentencing will be more lenient if you plead guilty now.
I'm in love with this thing. I'm warning you guys, stay the hell away from me. I hate robots.
Also, there's such a weird obsession with just like baseball bats when it comes to like far left sort of governmental agitation. This was an issue in comic books too, where it's like all of the angry women, or the angry women quote unquote, they all just like swung bats at people. I don't know what the deal is. It's like, yeah, anarchy. I don't know. I guess it's just like, I guess it's just a subversion of like cultural norms, because like the American pastime is baseball. So if they can take that aesthetic and turn it on its head, then it becomes anarchy.
Seriously, hate robots. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you have a vocal interface?
Yes, and yes.
So why didn't you respond?
You didn't ask a question.
Okay.
So that's how that game plays. Moving on.
Absolute disaster. This was a AAA release that came out about a day after Dustborn, and it too has flopped. A game that took 8 years of development and millions of dollars of budget has been an absolute disaster. You can see right now, 100 players or so are actively in the game.
Yeah, I'm less enthusiastic about even playing that ironically, because it looks like there's a lot of really actual just terrible shit to get through before you even get to the moments you can laugh at.
Game, terrible results for them. But much like Dustborn, despite this just being a complete dead on arrival release, the media, the games journalists are doing everything in their power to try to pump numbers into this game. Here's some more posts from the last couple of days. This one saying, Concord is selling much better on PlayStation Store than Steam. Data reveals Concord is number 511 on Steam's bestsellers list. But
poor PS5 players have no games. They're just looking for whatever they can find. And they say a new game came out that's like first party Sony, and they're like, okay, I guess we'll give it a shot. Whereas everyone else is like, I got plenty of other games to choose from.
Firewalk's new shooter sits at number 42 on PS Store's top sellers list. God. Yeah, they're basically trying to cope and also manipulate some of the numbers.
Got Wukong, it's still a Blade.
The layouts of these various platforms to make it seem like it's succeeding so well on PlayStation when clearly that's not the case. And Steam is very important. The fact that you're trying to underplay the Steam results is showing that there's not much sales going on here. But here's another one saying Concord is much better than the hate would lead you to believe. Our review of Firewalk's debut first-person shooter. Please watch. Please play this game. Please buy this game. Please. This is basically what all these games journalists do. They are very desperate. This was their the thing they were pushing. They were pushing Concord so hard, and it instantly fell on its face. And now they're doing everything in their power to push more people towards it. You can see the PC Gamer article here saying players seem to like Concord, but its $40 price tag has led to the tepid first weekend
PC Gamer?
On PC. Yeah, that sort of logic there with the price tag, wouldn't that mean that Black Myth Wukong would have failed? Oh wait, no, it sold millions and millions, over 10 million copies, and the price tag didn't seem to be an issue. Maybe the price tag is an issue because the game is really bad. The quality is not worth $40, and to many people, it's probably not worth $10 or $20. But also, there's now a guilt-shaming avenue people are going. Let's read this tweet. With regards to Concord, take a moment to remember that there are real people who for years have poured their heart and soul into making something.
I'm sure they would have rather poured their heart and soul into a good game.
Told you so today, but tomorrow
couldn't do it, but it's all your fault.
Remakes, safe sequels, and the lack of new IPs or any risks being taken. I'll always root for new games to succeed. Yeah, so now they're trying to shame you and basically saying, like, if you're critical of this game or making fun of what's happening, you're somehow like a bad person, and you're also going to lead to less innovation in the industry, which is hilarious because Concord really sold itself as a knockoff Overwatch. And also talking about Dustborn earlier, I mean, they're literally stealing assets from other games. So is there really any new IPs we're talking about here? It sounds like they're all just kind of feeding off of each other. And the results are obvious. People aren't interested in this nonsense. Not only are they pandering a bunch of virtue signaling, but also they're just not original. So yeah, it's not too surprising that people just aren't tuning in and purchasing these games. But anyways, that's going to do it for this latest update on these two games here, Dustborn and also Concord. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, Rev. So, like I said, this is going to be a shorter stream. I'm not going to go on too long. I got stuff I need to take care of. I don't know if Tevin is allowing like raids. Why would he allow like this sort of knock feature, which is very buggy? Jeez, that looks awful. The waffle fries look good, but fucking long John Givers. Like, you can knock to collab, but you can't raid. I don't know. I'll try to raid Tevin. See how well this goes. Thank you, everybody. I'll take tomorrow off, and I'll be back on the weekend. Let's see. May the good blood guide your way. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and stopping by. We got caught up on Russell Greer news. I'll see if I can make that like a monthly thing. Check in on Greer. I'm allowed to raid. Cool.
Be seeing you around then. Bye-bye.
See you later. This will be on the archive channel.
For me for a while and did some stuff, you know, as a volunteer for a little bit, which was
cool.
very nice of him. Okay,
Yeah.
out of his the kindness of his own heart or whatever.
That's how all your employees work, right? Go ahead, though.